Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck you, too!
What's up, everybody?
What's up, dirty dogs?
It's good to see ya. It's good to see ya. Let's get it.
I have 3 for comments. Very good. Thank you.
Let's get
Any
it.
other specials members?
They threw 4 people out. Who'd they throw out? They ain't even sat down yet. Who'd they throw out? I see Rob Kwan there.
All right. If there are no other specials members, Mr. Clerk,
Ricky?
what's available now for us to vote on?
Mr. President, the council
Mary,
may now vote
Stu
on
mentioned me
items
when.
2, 4,
What's up, Mar?
and 6 through 12.
All right. Those items are now before us. If there's no members wishing to be heard, let's go ahead and open the roll,
Get some coffee.
close the
here,
roll,
guys.
and tabulate the votes.
Wrong way.
14 ayes.
All right. Let's go
Who's
next to
live
item
right now,
number
Link?
1. Councilmember Padilla moved to
Think
note and
Stu's
file.
live right now? Shout out to Stu. Shout out to Stu, man.
All right, so
The
that motion
legend.
to note and file, item number 1 is
The
now before
ledge.
us. If there's no members wishing to be heard, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
Oh, he was over that car, the car versus train wreck, huh? Yeah, the
All
derailment.
right, we can go next to item number
everybody's
3,
all right
which
there,
was
man.
called special by Councilmember
It's usually
De
never a
Leon.
good sign. You
For
crash into
comments.
even a small commuter
Councilmember De Leon.
commuter train can do a lot of damage.
Thank you very
too.
much, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have item number 3 that is before us.
Said he loves me? Oh, man.
This is a project
awesome,
from the
man.
University of
You got
Southern
legends like
California,
that.
and that has been
Supporting
negotiated
you.
with numerous community
Shout out to Stu.
meetings. What I would characterize as successful meetings,
Let's
and
get it,
sometimes,
Stu.
times
Good
some
morning,
polarizing,
sir.
polemic meetings as well with regards to community
What's up,
benefits.
Don?
Nonetheless, I want to describe a couple points that's really critical.
You're a long-time complainer,
This
should
project
you,
has
Amy?
a project labor agreement with local hires, which
What's up,
includes
Laguna?
a labor
Katie?
agreement with communities of the east side, in particular Ramona Gardens,
Train
as
look
well
worse
as
than the
South
car?
Los Angeles.
Really? Well, it's a small
This
commuter
project will
train.
have
It's not a
health
normal
workforce
train, right?
career
So-
pathway,
but still, that's
that
crazy.
will provide a health career training for over 250 community
Heath?
members. It will also expand neighborhood community
Matt?
college preparation initiative, preparing many of the young students who live in and around the USC campus. Specifically the
Terry.
medical
Good morning.
campus, research
Good to see you,
campus,
Terry.
With pathways to a
What's up, Dirt
4-year
fan?
university or to
What's
a
up, Brian?
2-year
BJ?
college.
Happy hump
It has
day,
a
BJ.
whole list of other benefits that I can go through, community benefits.
Yeah, the
but
train
the list
derailed.
is-
That's
is
what's
much
wild.
too long. If any
Now they have to
colleagues
get a
want
crane to pick it all back
ask any
up.
questions,
And,
please feel free.
What a mess.
The most important part of this project, Mr.
Sucks for
President,
the
as
people that
colleagues, I
need
want to
that
emphasize, I think
train
that
for the
was
commute
sort of
to get in and
lost,
out.
if you will,
Sucks for them.
is that this is going to be a premier research center for dementia and Alzheimer's. And poring
Success.
over the data, I'm seeing that Latinos over the age of 65,
That's it, neighbor. You see me.
13% of Latinos have Alzheimer's or dementia.
Really? 13%?
When it
That's
comes
pretty
to
high.
the black community,
I'm
over
at
21%
21?
of
Oof.
African Americans over the age of 70 have Alzheimer's or dementia. And I know a thing or two about this issue because
Thank you, Golf.
my daughter's grandfather
Appreciate you.
suffered greatly from
Of course.
Alzheimer's.
Appreciate Stu.
Suffered for 10 years.
What's up, Moose? How are you?
And he
42
didn't
months,
have
Moose?
access, to medical
Let's
care.
go, Moose. Thank you.
And the profound impact that it has on the larger family is
42.
profound. Is profound. When you're dealing with an individual well into his 80s,
What's up, Jason?
into his 90s with
Thank you again,
Alzheimer's,
Moose.
it has a major toll on the entire family. That's why trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's or dementia is absolutely critical for all of our communities and for black
Right.
and brown
So
communities.
why
This
does it
is a
have to be
time
for the
bomb
black
that
and brown
is
communities? Why
ticking
can't it
right
just
now.
be for human
Because a
beings,
lot of
whoever
folks
they are,
at the
who
lower
suffer
economic
from it?
strata, they don't have the financial wherewithal. They don't have the additional
Weird.
stream of revenue that
then
they
it's
can
not.
be provided to provide for a healthcare worker to come in and help provide respite, if you will, for a lot of these folks. So this is going to be
Yeah,
a
salty.
premier research center on the USC Medical Facility campus in City 14. It is our hope that we will find a cure It won't be in Boston or at the University of Tokyo, University of Toronto, or at
Toyota.
Harvard or MIT, but right here
up, Russ?
at USC, here in the city
Nice,
of LA.
thanks.
This impacts dementia and Alzheimer's everybody, but what's often lost in the whole negotiations and debate of community benefits was the actual purpose and objective
University of
this
Toyota.
research facility. It's a good community benefits agreement. Not everyone, to be respectful, of the diversity
Hi, Leanne.
of thoughts and opinions. Not everyone was supportive, and I'm respectful of that, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, we landed this plane, and it opens up a promise for finding a cure, for Alzheimer's and dementia. With that, Mr. President, as well as colleagues, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you very much. I see no other members wishing to be heard, so let's go ahead and
Age
open the
10
roll,
years this year.
close the roll, and
up, Electric?
tabulate the votes.
Oh, there's 3-inch shrimp.
13 ayes.
Bro, he's
1
got
no.
a shirt on
Thank
that
you.
makes him look like
We
he's
can
a
move next to item
bodybuilding
number
chick with
5, which
titties
is called special
and
by
a bikini
Councilmember
on.
McCosker. Councilmember McCosker, you have the floor.
I know you
Thank
see
you
it.
very much, Mr. President. I'll be really brief. I'm going to urge an aye vote on item 5. But just to put some context, I want to plant my flag here. Last year, when we were struggling
Rachel?
with budget issues, we did a couple of things, and I think we
Morgan.
did the right things. We put in this prioritized critical hiring, or PCH, which is essentially a hiring
That's
freeze.
a cheeseburger
And then
today.
we
Well, I
also
won't be
made
eating
a
a
very
cheeseburger
painful
today.
choice in the
But
budget
enjoy.
to cut out the
I
vacant
got
positions
steak
and the
for
funding.
tonight.
And we
Steak
find
and
ourselves with
asparagus
all of the challenges
with
and all the
mushrooms.
pain of those two choices. And I think it really is time for us to look at how we can phase out PCH, or the hiring freeze. If, in fact, we believe that we made the right decision and we've cut back the budget to something that we can, cut back the positions to something that we can sustain, I think it's important for us to put our general managers back in the position that they can make the hiring choices and can build back up their departments. And I understand the need that staff has to make sure we're careful about this. And so what we put in this motion is that when our financial status reports, and mid-year, come back, we will use that as an opportunity to see exactly where we are. And I'm hoping that we can make the choice, careful choice, but a
Do I
deliberate
give
choice.
Stink steak? No.
To
He doesn't
then
eat steak.
remove the PCH
You
and
don't
put
like
our
that
general
stuff.
managers back in the positions
Besides, he
where
just ate-
those women and
He had
men
his chicken
can
stew.
staff back up and put us in a position where services are provided to our constituents. So I appreciate your
That's
aye
what
vote
Stinks
very much.
loves.
I know nobody's opposed to this, but I just want to make sure that we are getting ourselves ready for normalizing our work staffs.
Oops,
Thanks.
Didn't even realize the other camera's on there. Sorry, guys. I apologize.
All right.
Seems like it's light
are there
work
any other
today
members wishing
there.
to be heard? All right. Seeing none, we can go ahead and open the roll.
No bunches of groups
Close the roll
to
and
honor.
tabulate the
Maybe
votes.
one in front. Look at his
14
shirt. He's
ayes.
talking to the cop right there. Look at him. Can you see him in the corner? Pink shirt. Looks pink. It's a sunburnt chick with big tits wearing a bikini. Oh, it's hysterical. Yeah, looks like you have a couple honorees here in the front row there. One full group. I see Rob Kwan in the back. I see 3-inch shrimp. I don't see anybody else, but that doesn't mean they aren't there. That means, a lot of times they'll
Members, we have
sign
a
up and go
special
outside.
guest who's about to arrive, so I wanted to just take a
Special
moment
guest
and
that's
make,
about to arrive? Uh-oh.
sure that they had an opportunity to get here before we start public comment.
Who's coming?
So we're just checking status on that.
Who's the special guest? Is it Rick Dees, like you guys were telling me? Rick Dees coming down? Is that the special guest? Fucking Rick Dees. Diddy? Yeah, that'd be even more awesome. I mean, he is their friend. Diddy's got video, I'm sure, of some of these guys or some of their friends, if not them. Oh, boy. He knows too much. That's why they gave him the 0 bail, too. You ain't going nowhere, son. We'll stay here until we figure out what to do with you. You know what I mean. It's time to
Smoke.
let's get it. Donald Trump, that'd be awesome. Trump walks in. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. I love when he says billions. billions and billions and billions. It's my favorite when he says it. Shout out to Donald Trump. Diddy has a 3-inch shrimp. I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny, nor do I care. But, yeah. What's up, Michael?
So I think if we can just hold for another couple of minutes,
You're-
our guest should be here. But
So
in the
now we're waiting
meantime,
on this guest. This guest
why don't
better
we take
be
this
somebody like
opportunity,
you
Mr.
guys are
Clerk
saying.
and Mr. City Attorney,
It
if
better
you could
be
please
fucking
read
P.
in the
Diddy,
instructions
somebody
for
big,
public
relevant.
comment, So we'll be ready to go on that. as
It
well.
better not be some
sir.
irrelevant
As
motherfucker
indicated on the agenda, members
showing
of the
up all
public wishing to
late
offer
after
public comment
they're
should call
supposed to get
69
they're supposed to get honored and they show up late to that
254
shit.
and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press
Ain't
pound
you
again
seen
when
those
prompted
plaques?
for
I
participant
ain't
ID.
getting there early, bro.
Once admitted into the meeting, press *9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an
Special
automated
guest
voice
is
will ask you to
God.
press *6 to unmute.
Hallelujah.
To people providing public comment, when it is your turn to speak,
Hallelujah.
either at the
Hallelujah.
podium or on the phone, please state which of the agenda items
Fernando
you'd like to
Valenzuela,
speak
I'm
to.
down.
You will have 1 minute per item, and today, because there's only one item on the agenda that's open for public comment,
Only one
we'll have
item?
1 minute for public comment on the item.
Okay, so
we
you'll
will tell
only
you when
have
your time is up.
2
when speaking
minutes
on the
total.
agenda items, you must be on topic.
So today's total
Our
is
goal
6.
is to get through as many speakers as we can.
6. If over
If you are not
if
on
is
topic,
there, 6.
or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the council president.
Arnaud? Who's Arnaud?
At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you again stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. The item that is open for public comment today is item
it really,
number
Fernando?
13. So again, the only item
Fernando?
on the agenda that is open for public comment today is item number 13. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the other items, in this case there are none, or anything else in the
Special
city's
guest
subject
Arnold
matter
Sachs.
jurisdiction. So that'll be up to 2 minutes total for today. For members of the public calling in,
wanna find out
when
what
it
the
is your turn to
definition of
speak,
trillium
an
is.
automated
What the
message
fuck
from
is
Zoom will
trillium?
prompt you to press *6 to
miss him.
unmute yourself. If you do not do so,
fuck
council
is
staff will
trillium?
prompt you once more. At that point, you need to immediately unmute yourself, or unfortunately, you will forfeit your speaking time, and we will have to move on to the next caller. Finally, because of a brief time delay between the live
Terry
meeting and the
needs a little
broadcast,
sun.
2 things are
Didn't
important.
get out this summer.
First, while waiting for your turn to speak, please keep an ear to the phone so you know in real time when it's your turn to press *6 to
I want to
unmute.
hang out with him and smoke
Second,
joints.
if you're listening to this meeting on another device, please turn down the volume on that device immediately when it's your turn to speak.
Have him on the show so
Between
he can
feedback
call
and
you
the
guys,
time delay,
Pumpkinhead.
it will cause a great deal of confusion if you continue to listen on your other devices. Thank you.
Good Jason. What's up, Pumpkinhead? Hello, Pumpkinhead. Oh, look who just walked in the door. Mr. Herman and Mr. Spindler. Fucking Batman and Robin just walked in.
All right.
All right, we can't wait any longer. Where's this dude going to show up? Is it really Fernando? Now I got so many questions. So at least we got 3 regulars
All right.
for
In a
sure.
moment, I'll be calling out the names of our speakers, but I want to first have an opportunity to welcome our guest today, and that will be momentarily.
That's what you said a few moments ago. How long is momentarily again? Hey, Fernando, if it really is you, hurry up. Look at Mr. Spindler. Just walking in like this. Just flicking everybody off. Look at him. Making sure everybody in the crowd gets it. Mr. Herman just sitting there backing him up. Fuck, I mean, how's it not
All
gold?
right.
How's it not gold?
Thank you very much, Councilmember
How's
De
it not
Leon,
gold?
For a special introduction.
Rick James not living no more. Can't be Rick. Only one Rick James.
Thank you very much,
Not here no more.
Mr. President. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Good morning, muy
El
buenos días,
presidente.
to my colleagues as well as the member of the audience.
Is this
today.
the guy who showed
Today,
up late?
It's my great honor to welcome a distinguished leader from our sister nation, nuestro vecino, Mexico, the governor-elect of the state of Puebla, Alejandro Armenta Mior.
All right, so the homie showed up late. I love it. I love it.
The great state of Puebla holds a very
And
special
Chapo?
place in the hearts of many Angelinos. In fact, our city is home to a vibrant and thriving Poblano community, contributing to the
You guys
economic
lied.
and
It wasn't
cultural
fucking
fabric of
Fernando.
Los
I was
Angeles.
already
Now,
for Fernando to show
Governor-elect
up.
Mier has been a long champion of the people of Puebla.
Yeah, you guys got me.
dedicated
That's
to
all right.
improving lives and
Get you back.
strengthening his state's role on the national and international level. Now, Governor-elect Mier's recent victory in the June 2nd, 2024 election as a
He looks
candidate
lost. Look at his
of
face. He
the
looks lost.
Sigamos Haciendo Historia coalition marks a new chapter of leadership for the great state of Puebla, where he will begin his 6-year term in December. His leadership will not only shape the future of Puebla, but also further deepen bonds of friendship and cooperation between Los Angeles and Mexico. It is with great pride that we welcome here today as we look forward to continuing this collaboration. Let me state a couple
Zonked
things,
on
Mr.
Adderall.
President, as well as colleagues. The state of Puebla, Los Angeles is the largest
Dude, look at
city
his eyes. Look at his eyes.
in
They're
the
just,
world of Poblanos,
bro, look at his eyes. Just look at his eyes.
outside
Don't look at
of
anything else.
the capital of Puebla. And for those
Active,
who don't
homie.
know it,
Active, homie. Look
Mole
at his
comes
eyes.
from two places in Mexico. It comes from Oaxaca, and it comes from the state of Puebla. Now, we won't get into a battle right now who has the best mole right now,
coca.
because those are fighting words for a lot of Mexicans right there. But Los Poblanos have a profound impact on the city of LA.
One more Big Mac and
in
he
New York
ain't going to
City
be able
and
to button
elsewhere.
that coat, that's for sure.
Because the majority of the
that
folks
close.
who work in the restaurants, the cooks,
Oaxaca
the
coca?
sous chefs, the prep cooks, they're all Poblanos, or the majority are Poblanos. So when we're talking about the
Poblano
best
chicken's great.
Italian food, it's a Poblano. If we were talking about sushi chefs as well now, they're Poblanos. In fact, I was just at an Indian restaurant the other day, and it was not Indians, they were Mexicans, and they were Poblanos. And they were taught well, because the food was very delicious as well, too. The kulcha and the naan and the bindi and all that stuff, very, very good. So they've had a major contribution, Mr. President, as well as colleagues. Now, our friend Alejandro Armenta Mior was also a federal senator in Mexico.
So they'll allow you to buy
a former
one
president
burger at 50
of the
cents,
Senate
that's
of
it?
Mexico, former member of the Congress,
sense.
la Cámara de Diputados, la Cámara Baja de México. And now he will assume the position of the governor of the state of Puebla. It's an amazing state.
Terry?
You have
It's
to
good.
go.
It's poblano
It's only a
chicken.
couple hours
Chicken
drive in
poblano.
car, maybe 20 minutes in helicopter if you get over there very quickly. Let's give a rounding of applause. Los
I wanna
Angeles,
ride the
welcome to the
chopper.
governor-elect of the state of Puebla, Alejandro Armenta Mior. And Mr. President, with your permission, as well as my colleagues, if our distinguished governor-elect could share a few words, would that be possible?
It's our great honor to welcome the governor and to welcome him to say a few words before he begins, Mr. De Leon. Before he begins, I just want to remind the members of our audience that there will be no disruptions whatsoever of this meeting or those who are
Yeah.
participating in this meeting.
Yeah, Mr.
especially our
Spiller,
special
Herman.
guest, the governor.
Thank you very much. Estimados concejales, me da mucho gusto estar con ustedes. Gracias a Kevin, señor concejal, por esta oportunidad de vinculación con el hermano estado de Los Ángeles.
Friday, Randy, Friday.
A Puebla se le denomina Puebla de Los Ángeles, por eso era muy importante estar en Los Ángeles con ustedes.
It is my great distinguished honor to be here with each and every one of you, Angelinos. We have very close ties, bonds, Puebla, with the city of Los Angeles.
Estimados concejales, para Puebla, para el gobierno que voy a encabezar a partir del 14 de diciembre, este encuentro era muy importante por los cerca de 3 millones de poblanos que hay entre Los Ángeles y Nueva York viviendo en la Unión Americana.
This is a very important day for Los Poblanos, esteemed colleagues here, members of the council, because we have 3 million Poblanos between New York City and Los Angeles.
Soy un gobernador de origen migrante porque nací en Izúcar de Matamoros, en la Mixteca, y mi familia creció en la Unión Americana.
I am also a governor-elect, but I'm also an immigrant. I was born in Matamoros, which is in Tamaulipas, bordering with Brownsville in the state of Texas. But I have family members who were born and who lived in the United States.
Matamoros, Izúcar de Matamoros es Puebla, hay otro Matamoros, Tamaulipas, pero es Matamoros, Mixteca. Lo que quiero decirles es que entiendo los problemas y las potencialidades de nuestros pueblos migrantes que se fusionan entre la cultura y la economía donde viven.
I understand the unique challenges of immigrants as well as the potential, la potencia of los poblanos in the United States.
Puebla es el segundo productor y exportador de autos de México.
He's not a good translator.
Y Puebla tiene el segundo lugar en escuelas superiores y en infraestructura educativa. Por eso Puebla se va a convertir en la capital de la tecnología de México, de la mano de la primera presidenta de México en 200 años de historia, la doctora Claudia Sheinbaum.
Puebla is the second largest exporter of automobiles from the Republic of Mexico to the world, but in particular to the United States of America. And also, we're moving towards a technological economy in the state of Puebla, in particular with the new president, the first female president in the history of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum.
En México es tiempo de las mujeres.
And Mexico, it is time for the women.
Official.
Y es tiempo de los jóvenes y es tiempo
All the
de la
Spanish speakers are
tecnología.
calling them out.
It's a time for young folks as well as technology.
Somos productores en Puebla de cilantros, de coles, de lechugas que llegan a la Unión Americana.
Se sembra y se pisca lo que es cilantro. We have cilantro as well as col, cabbage, as well as cilantro y col y qué más?
Lechugas.
Y lechugas. Lechuga, ¿cómo se dice? Lettuce. Yeah, lettuce.
Esto es muy importante porque compartimos una hermandad enorme, indestructible con la Unión Americana. Para nosotros, nuestros hermanos mexicanos, hispanos, latinos, norteamericanos, somos parte de una economía que compartimos con Canadá. Por eso, esta visita significa fortalecer el lazo comercial desde Puebla que queremos hacer con Los Ángeles.
Okay, and lastly, this is an important visit because we are cultivating a strong economic bond, a connection with California, but especially with the city of Los Angeles.
Quiero decirles que yo soñé estar aquí.
I dreamed of being here.
Porque teniendo 22 años, fui el alcalde más joven del estado de Puebla, en Acatzingo, la tierra de mi mamá.
In the city of Acatzing, in Puebla, I was the youngest mayor at the age of 22.
Y un amigo que vivía en Oceanside me dijo, ven, saqué mi visa y vine al City Hall, pero ya estaba cerrado porque era sábado. Entonces solo conocí, siendo alcalde, el City Hall aquí enfrente.
De Los Ángeles.
En Los Ángeles.
Y Oceanside, San Diego.
Sí, pero él vivía en Oceanside y me trajo desde Oceanside a Los Ángeles en su carro para que conociera el City Hall y estaba cerrado porque era sábado y solo lo conocí enfrente.
I was very young. I had a friend who lived in Oceanside, brought me up to the United States. I wanted to come visit City Hall in Los Angeles. We came on a Saturday to Los Angeles, and I tried to come into City Hall, but the doors were locked because it was closed. So the only thing I got to experience was the outside of the City Hall of Los Angeles.
Por eso siempre he creído que soñar nos permite hacer posibles esos sueños. Y así como soñé hace 34 años entrar al City Hall como presidente municipal. Hoy vengo como gobernador del estado de Puebla electo y para mí es un honor estar con ustedes.
You know, to dream is to realize, to manifest what can happen in the future. And for me, it's a dream come true. The fact that I came here at such a young age, I couldn't get into City Hall, and I'm coming to City Hall now as governor-elect of the state of Puebla. So honored to be here before you, Mr. President, as well as all of the colleagues around the horseshoe.
Finalmente, pedirles que vean a Puebla como un estado hermano con el que podemos fortalecer lazos económicos, culturales, turísticos y pedirles que nos permitan vínculos con las universidades de Los Ángeles por el bien de los jóvenes de México y de Los Ángeles.
We're looking forward to creating and cultivating those economic ties, those academic ties, especially with the universities in the state of Puebla, with the universities here in Southern California, in particular here in the city of Los Angeles. It's a great honor to be here. And y con eso, let me just say one last thing. For those we celebrate, we just celebrated just recently the independence, la independencia de Mexico against Spanish colonial rule. But folks often confuse that with Cinco de Mayo. And oftentimes in the United States, it's an excuse for folks to perhaps go the extra mile in terms of drinking. Cinco de Mayo is very special for los poblanos, because that's when they fought the French Imperial Army, which at the time was considered the most powerful army on planet Earth against the Mexicans. And if it wasn't for Mexico or los poblanos, el Cinco de Mayo y la Batalla de Puebla, it's quite possible, don't know for sure, but it's quite possible we wouldn't be speaking English. We would be speaking French. That was a decisive battle in the Battle of Puebla in the imperial forces of France, because they had taken France, they were taking Puebla, as well as what is Mexico today. They would have had a large influence, at least on the western part of the United States. So that's why we owe the Poblanos a great deal, because they are tied to American history as well. So with that, Señor Gobernador Electo, Mr. President, thank you very much for your indulgence. Bienvenidos, gracias a ustedes.
¡Viva México!
Governor, I just want to let you know, Governor, that the doors of City Hall are open to you now. So we're delighted to welcome you here to our council chambers.
I'm just glad that he showed up late.
We're so proud of the relationship that California and Los Angeles have had with Puebla, and we look forward to continuing that relationship under your leadership. So welcome to City Hall.
I'm looking forward to you leaving on fucking Friday and never seeing your fucking face again. That's what I'm looking forward to. Look at him, double fuck yous.
And I would like to recognize Councilmember Padilla.
Oh, wait. Look at him.
Well, I just wanted to
Switch
to
the
thank
camera.
the governor-elect. I hope I heard the term correctly, for
Where's
being
Ian?
here and for elevating the fact that Mexican cities are huge now. They have a lot of wealth and richness and contribution to the global economy. So I particularly appreciate you bringing up that Puebla is the next big place for everything related to engineering. And I am actually really excited that you brought up the need for our two countries to have a future conversation on our relationships when it pertains to the university level.
Probably
I know
working,
that there's
Scott.
a lot of innovation happening on healthcare and potentially even tapping into hiring veterinarians from Mexico, because we have such a shortage here. So I appreciate you elevating that, because that really is the future and the long-term conversations with our two countries. And I appreciate you bringing it up specifically from your town. So gracias por estar aquí y hablar de estas cosas tan importantes que enseñan que los pueblos, las ciudades grandes de México tienen mucha riqueza. I mean, yo no sabía que Puebla iba a ser ese lugar donde hay mucha tecnología, no lo sabía. Pero también a mucha gente le digo, yo no sabía que Monterrey era el lugar grande de todas las universidades y lo del arte. So, todo está cambiando y yo sé que el futuro de nuestras conversaciones, de nuestros pueblos, de nuestras patrias, es qué está pasando con las universidades, porque los vamos a necesitar en conversaciones de que necesitamos más doctores y pues en particular también veterinarios. So, gracias y que siga la conversación.
Yeah, it's more state funded, I think, Terry.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Pretty cheap.
Thank you, Council President.
That's how it should be.
Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí.
Instead of having these
por estar aquí con nosotros.
privately
Hoy es un
owned
gran honor.
entities known
Yo
as
represento el
colleges.
primer distrito y soy uno
They're
de
ripping your
tres
kids off,
colegas que están aquí en el
teaching
concilio,
them not,
que son hijos de inmigrantes mexicanos.
not the shit they
Mis
should be
padres son de
learning,
Guadalajara y de Morelia.
and charging them way too much to
Es
do
muy
it.
lindo ver que nuestros países estén trabajando juntos y que usted aquí esté en nuestro gobierno presentando lo que están haciendo y haciendo esa conexión que necesitamos, ¿verdad? Necesitamos tener más conexión con nuestras raíces, con nuestra cultura, con la arte, y su presencia aquí está haciendo eso para nosotros. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Gracias.
All right. Again, thank you very much for being with us.
It's not about
You're very welcome to be here in City
really
Hall.
teaching and education. It's about
All
how
right.
they look at them as suckers, and
All right,
they
we're
love it when
whoever's
they don't
shouting out,
pay
stop
and don't
shouting
show
out.
up to go to school.
All right.
They love that.
We're ready to begin public comment. The directions have already been read into the
More
record,
money.
so I'm going to
Get the
call
next
a number
one in
of
here.
names. As I call your name, please line up
Sad
on
deal.
the left-hand side of the chambers. You do not need to speak in the order that I call
All
you.
right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll start
Time to
with
get it going.
Byron Jose. The initials CCP.
Who is it?
Spindler. Tiffany Henyard.
Okay, so that's 3-inch shrimp. Spindler.
The fake name.
Gotta be Herman.
James.
CCP.
Dusty.
Dusty Rhodes.
Annabella Mazariegos. Carmen
San Diego?
Resendiz.
Would have been awesome if it was Carmen San Diego.
Okay. Sir, which name are you using today?
Good morning, Mr. City Attorney. Good morning, Honorable Council President. My
Which name
is,
are you using?
Good morning, Mr. City Attorney. Good morning, Honorable
Which name did you
Council
sign
answer
up
my
under?
question.
President.
Which name are
And,
you using?
Look at that shirt. His tits.
Good morning, Mr.
Sunburnt.
City Attorney.
So I'm going to ask you one more time, or else we're going to have to move on. Which name did you sign up under? We need to know so that we can keep track of who's spoken and who hasn't. So which name did you sign up under?
Okay. My name is Tiffany Henyard.
Okay.
Okay. And
Which items would you like to speak on?
Good morning, Mr. City Attorney. Good morning, Mr.
Look at his face.
Council President Nuri Martinez.
That face.
I would like to speak on the item that is open to the
so you
public
have
to
1 minute
speak.
for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the
Okay.
item. And again, for everybody who's here and on the phones, the only item that is open for public comment today is item 13. So go ahead. You have 1
Only
minute for the
2
item.
minutes
Go
for
ahead.
each.
再见我的爱，我 wanna say goodbye。再见我的过去，我 wanna new life。再见我的眼泪、跌倒和失败。再见那个年少轻狂的时代。再见我的烦恼，不再孤单。再见我的懦弱，不再哭喊。我 wanna low wanna low。挫折和离别不过是生命中的点缀，过了多年我才读懂了家人的眼泪，发现原来自己没有说再见的勇气。
Look at this fool right here.
满人了满
Look
城
at
的
him.
空气，
He's
失
laughing.
去后才知道那些有多么的珍贵。亲爱的朋友，一风已经展翅纷飞，飞不到高处怎么开阔自己的视野？你已经长大了，快告诉全世界，外面的世界散发着强大的磁场，赤手着每一双即将展开的翅膀，热烈的火在凶猛的旧梦燃烧，美丽的火花在恋人的周围环绕着。过程虽然很美，有无奈和失落，刻骨铭心的爱过，尽管爱过的并不是我。如果没有学会忍受，如何承受打击？如果没有跌倒，如何能够学会爬起？在无尽的黑夜，所有都快要毁灭。如果我还有梦，如何为你而感动？如果在黎明的起点，
General
如果我
General
的心里
public
面。
comment.
General public comment, I would like to talk about with our LAPD officers. So if I am speaking on general public comment, why do I have to speak on the agenda item? Well, I want to ask our LAPD officers, if I am speaking on the ceasefire peace inside of the city hall, why that is out of the jurisdiction of the Los Angeles City Council?
That's right.
If I am asking for a Los Angeles community barbecue event inside of the city of Los Angeles, why that is out of the jurisdiction of this council? So I want to ask our LAPD officers, if you were given an order that is out of policy, do you still have to enforce it? If we are talking about number one supporter of the LAPD, that's me. However, why you are continue to enforce the order when you are know that order is out of order in itself? I can continue to talk about ceasefire in the city hall, inside of the city chamber. That is always
Your time has expired. Please have a seat.
Shout to 3-inch
Next
shrimp.
speaker.
I like it when he talks about his 3-inch shrimp. and the discrimination he faces because of it. Oh, here we go. Viewer discretion.
Mr. Herman, what name did you sign up under this morning?
I don't remember.
Well, if you would sign up with one name,
You'd
you would remember. So I assume that you're trying to disrupt this meeting by signing up with multiple names.
Now let me recall for the record. You said rabbi, then I'm here, right? Dick face?
Go ahead. You're going to speak on item 13? Yes?
Yeah, motherfucker.
Okay, 13
and
in general public comment.
you fucking
Time
moron.
starts now.
I know how to read. Yeah, justice for all in L.A.
Signed up as rabbi.
What is the judiciary duty of the fucking police? Well, Smoking Scan knows what the judiciary issue of the police is. And that MOU is that it's a funding of service paid by we, the people of California. Just like Sergeant Clark and that 3-inch dick Sergeant Duarte.
So you're off topic already. So let's stick to the topic or go to general public
these
comment.
officers on the new instructions for this fucking amount of money in CD5. Now, don't construe my language and interrupt me, asshole. It's your last day.
You're now definitely off topic, so go to general
Or is
public
it his
comment.
last day today?
Motherfucker, fine. Let me tell you the
Friday.
reason that we're here. The reason that we fear Spindler and her. The longer I am hypnotized by white privileged niggers, white privileged lawyers, white privileged senators, white privileged council members, and fucking Congress people, let me give you the reason. LA Police Commissioner Steve Soboroff, a real estate expert involved with the Carter issue in Brentwood and UCLA, is the reason why I'm here. The reason that I'm here to point out the crime.
Look at Spindler dancing.
Because of you, asshole Armenians. You don't listen because you're a fool, a white nigga fool. Argentina who got fooled by your woman who divorced you because your fat woman is all that you can do.
All
So
right.
that's not
Your
under
time's
the
expired.
jurisdiction.
Sit down and be quiet. You're disrupting the meeting. I'm ordering you removed pursuant to Rule 12. Mr. Herman is ordered removed.
Threw him out on his
Pursuant
last
to
day.
Rule 12 for continuing to disrupt the meeting after I instructed him to be quiet. Please remove him from the meeting immediately so that we can continue with our meeting. Mr. Herman, have a great day. Sergeants, he's delaying this meeting. Please get him to the door
Love it.
expeditiously.
Good morning, Speaker. Please give us a minute while
No,
we try and get this
no,
under
we can't
control.
begin. I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait because Armando Herman, Sergeants, is continuing to disrupt this meeting and delay public comment. Not just disrupt our work, but prevent other people from being able to speak. So I want him out.
This country is fucked.
All of the people who are waiting to speak cannot speak because of one person, Armando Herman, who's been ordered removed, and I need him to get to the door.
Homeboy in the suits fucking laughing.
right.
The one in the gray suits busting.
Just in
up.
case anybody has any
Trying to
doubts.
look, he's trying to hold himself
Anyone
back
else
and not
who
laugh.
disrupts this meeting will be removed immediately, especially if you're interrupting other people's public comment. Before you begin, I'm going to call a few more names. Cecilia Garcia,
How do you not
Heidi
watch this?
Gonzalez,
How?
Pamela Augustine,
Look,
Rob Kwan,
this is reality
Samantha
TV.
Nieves Barriere,
Bachelorette.
Greenspan,
It's not real.
Julian
This is
Alexander Macara, Suzanne Lewis, and Larry B.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak
It's not
to.
real. This is
Good
real.
morning. Public comments. My name is Anabella Mazariegos. I do appreciate free speech.
Chop
I
it,
do not
thank
like
you.
the way he talks, but you know it's free speech. This is our First Amendment.
Okay,
He's
so are you here
entitled.
for general public comment?
Yes, public
Okay,
comment.
so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yes. And I'm talking, you said that we cannot allow another items, but I'm here because I'm opposed yesterday at the plumber committee, they approved the USC project, which is just only one building now, but it's a greedy university that is going to have a major the tech project that is going to take a lot of land from the neighborhood of Boyle Heights and City Terrace. This is the beginning of the gentrification of USC. Exactly the way they did it in South LA, they're coming to Boyle Heights, District 14. We do not appreciate it that you guys come to us when it's election time, but you don't care about the necessities of our town. Every town has gentrification. We are really suffering with all this displacement. It's not fair. You come in November for our vote, and you don't take care of us.
Thank you very much. Next speaker,
She
please.
ain't lying. She is telling the truth.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name that you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Carmen Reséndiz.
Good morning, my name is Carmen Reséndiz.
Vivo en Boyle Heights por más de 15 años.
And I lived in Boyle Heights for over 15 years.
Y hoy estoy aquí porque estoy preocupada.
And I'm here today because I am worried.
Porque aprobaron el proyecto de USC.
Because the project of USC was approved.
Y no se nos informa a la comunidad de las consecuencias de lo que esto trae. ¿Se nos está hablando?
We are not being informed of all the consequences that this will bring forth.
De los beneficios que trae, pero no se nos informa a costa de qué.
So they tell us about the benefits that this brings, but they don't tell us what is the cost.
La universidad ya nos ha afectado con la vivienda desde hace años.
The university has already affected us with living and for many years.
Y este proyecto nos afectará por más tiempo para nosotros y nuestros hijos.
This will affect us for a long time, not only us, but our children.
No estamos de acuerdo que nuestro concejal no nos apoye en esto.
We do not agree that our council members do not support us on this.
Debe de sentarse y informar a la comunidad de lo que estos proyectos ambiciosos traen a nuestra comunidad.
He should sit with our community and let us know what are the issues that these greedy projects bring to our community.
Gracias.
That's it.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning.
Who is this guy?
Hello, is this on?
We can hear you.
Byron Jose, City 8 constituent. Here speaking as a resident over the last 25 years in LA.
General public
speaking on
comment.
13.1 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please go ahead.
Thank you. There are two agenda items today, transferring funds to the LAPD. We had Kevin's campaigning on the floor. I know Krikorian has a hard time understanding election laws, and you're campaigning via email. But anyway, so hopefully this is the last time that this meeting devolves to what you continue to see, the circus that it is, thanks to Krikorian's failed leadership. As we turn the page, right, as we move on to another era of LA politics, you will leave behind the following legacy, Krikorian: a legacy of criminalizing and terrorizing our neighbors experiencing houselessness, silencing the public from engaging in these meetings by criminalizing people, throwing people out at whim.
It's true.
By funding militias. That's the next one of the agenda items that your city council, under your leadership, has devolved to.
What, LAPD?
As well as a deficit, a historic deficit, because you continue to fund the police. So anyway, so we moved on from Norris Phil's leadership. Hopefully the other people continue to be voted out or indicted out of office. Hopefully we'll have 2 new seats in a couple of months, unless Kevin wants to resign soon. You already lost the primary, Kevin, so why are you waiting to lose the general? But anyways, so through all of that, through this era of corruption, repugnant abuse of power, and failure, Krikorian, I mainly came here to express to you a very sincere message that I think reflects what the residents of Los Angeles really want to communicate to you after your failure of 2 years as president. Fuck you.
Next speaker.
I love it. On your last day of work, imagine everybody coming in and telling you. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes.
Good morning. So you have 1 minute for the
All
items and 1 minute
items
for
and
general.
general comment.
Yes.
So thank you to KKK Katie for all of your police funds to get rid of homeless criminals and thieves off of your streets. How come John Lee can't do this? No, because he's under investigation. How come Eunice can't do it? Well, she's busy trying to get that McDonald's app for her cheeseburger today. Yes, 50 cents. Yes, and that's the problem, isn't it? You homeless lovers like Fatso Eunice and Moni Cow, Hugo Stalin.
Speak to
you
LAPD
cocksuckers-
funding and CD5.
I'm trying to compliment KKK Katie, believe it or not, Armenian. I'm
CD5.
complimenting her. Yes, I'm saying, if you let me speak, that she's doing a good job. Let's give her a hand. Well, yeah, see, I will always tell you, council members, when you're doing a good job. Now for my general comment.
General public comment.
So long, you filthy, dirty scumbag Armenian. So long, like your first wife told you to so long, you stupid ass. Weren't you married? You couldn't learn Spanish in that first marriage? Is that the
That
problem
has
there?
nothing to do with
Yes,
the jurisdiction
it does.
of this council.
It
So
does.
speak to the
You're a fucking failure.
work of this council. Okay.
You're a failure. That's the point. You're a no-good, dirty, pink-skinned, fascist, Armenian terrorist cocksucker. You have a big, fat wife
Okay,
and a
you're done.
retarded family.
You're done. You're done. Your time has expired. Have a good day.
Oh,
Mr. Spindler's continuing to disrupt the meeting. He's ordered removed pursuant to Rule 12. Get him out of my chambers.
Get him out of my chambers. We're talking
You're
about my
done.
wife on my last day.
You're done. You're removed. You were ordered removed. You're continuing to disrupt the meeting after being ordered removed. So, sergeants, deal with him accordingly, please.
Oh.
Have a good day. Have a good day, Spindler. You're done.
Mr. Spindler, you have been ordered removed. Please move.
Mr. Spindler is
please
now
leave the room
delaying
expeditiously.
public comment after having been ordered removed. Mr. Kwan, I know you're going to
Thank
say
you,
you
Rachel.
don't mind, but unfortunately, we can't have this disruption while people are speaking.
Rachel.
So I just need to ask you to wait for a minute.
It's good to see you.
Spindler, hurry up and leave our chamber so we can go on with the meeting. For the record, Mr. Spindler is continuing to shout out from the back of the chambers, still hasn't managed to find his way to the door, despite our sergeant's best efforts. So we'll just all wait. The city of Los Angeles will wait for Wayne Spindler to complete his rant.
Thank you, Amy.
All right. And for members on the phones, if it's not clear, we still cannot resume public comment because Mr. Spindler has still not exited the room.
He's talking about him. Do your duty.
All
He's
right.
the city attorney.
Mr. Kwan, good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to speak on 13 in general public comment.
Good morning. So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Laker
What are
championship.
we up to?
shirt.
Half a dozen ejections so far?
That's not on topic, but go ahead.
It kind of is on topic, and I'll get to that. So for this item, we have Councilmember Yaroslavsky, who is reconciling with a bunch of reactionaries in her district threatening to recall her. So we've got to throw some red meat to LAPD, give them some of that chum. John Lee knows that move. A couple $100,000 for LAPD. And I just wonder, maybe if we didn't have such a hostile environment here with a council president ranting, berating, yelling, inflaming tensions, we wouldn't need as many cops here. And then we could have more cops over in Yaroslavsky's district. It's just important to consider that. And for Councilmember Yaroslavsky, wherever you are, you got nothing to fear. You won big. Councilmember Rahman proved that you don't need to give in to the reactionaries. For my general public comment,
go ahead.
I was there for Herb's last day as president, but not Nuri's due to the sudden nature of events. But I got to come out to honor the second worst council president we've had in the last 3-4 decades. Looking forward to having a council president kind of like Herb Wesson, who could actually preside over a meeting without losing their shit and yelling at people. Really impressive to see how you hid your temper for like 12 years. There's this notion this council president has that I'm just a hater, that I just love hating on everything. And really, you might recall, some of you who've been around, I didn't used to be this way. The first few years around here, I wasn't this way. It wasn't until Nuri, until this guy showed how much they disdained the public and wanted to go to absurd lengths to quash public comment.
Yep.
And I just hope this council steps away from that, because all of the mess being left behind by that rain is still hanging around, still out for some nibbling. So I wish you the best.
Shout out to Rob Kwan.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Pamela Agustin with Eastside Leads, and I'm speaking on general comment.
Leads.
Council members, I want to speak about just how decisions in land use and projects are happening in this city, which concerns me and my coalition a lot.
There goes Bobby
As
Trendy.
the Discovery and Translational Hub project was going through your process for over a year, my coalition members and I gave comment, including residents from South LA. And the makeup of the City Planning Commission was drastically changed. The vote that eventually led to the approval of the project that you all almost unanimously approved also came in Van Nuys, away from the community of the East Side. Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez, for your leadership in voting no on a project that will continue gentrifying the East Side for years, District 1 and District 14. We asked multiple times from USC that they also allow other champions on council to mediate talks between us, and they said that's a non-starter. We need leadership here that holds developers accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you'd like to speak to.
Laverne and Shirley.
General comment.
So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Lewis. I'm with Neighborhood Council Valley Village. I'm here to thank Council President Alka Corian for helping the San Fernando Valley, especially Valley Village, maneuver through first the 2019 decline of the economy with city services in our community, dealing with the homeless crisis with the first tiny villages, the tiny homes in the city of Los Angeles, keeping CD2 safe and protected and informed during the pandemic, his support of planning and land use issues in Valley Village, the 15 coastal oak trees at North Hollywood High School that he helped us get historical status, the sound walls along the 170 after years and years and years of waiting, the stolen copper wire thefts, the 180 trees planted in Valley Village, the 50 trees planted in Valley Village Park, the murals and 40-plus art boxes around Valley Village. Can I continue?
Thank you. I'm afraid not.
I'm afraid not. We don't care
but I
about
appreciate
you.
it. Thank
For
you.
your service, and thank you to your staff,
right.
especially Jeff,
Thank you.
Shannon,
Thank you.
Carl.
Thank you. We don't care.
Next speaker, please.
We don't care.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the...
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Araceli Brito y estoy aquí viendo, ¿verdad? Por el...
Good morning, my name is
Ustedes
Araceli Britos, and I'm here this morning. Sí,
han
señor.
aceptado un programa, o sea, el USC no para la comunidad.
You accepted a program of USC not for the community, but only for your own benefit. Señora, ¿puede esperar a que la traduzca y después va hablando?
en Boyle Heights.
I'm
Y
living in
ahorita me
Boyle
he quedado en la
Heights.
So
calle
can we
porque-
pause for
porque
time
no
for a
hay
second? So
vivienda.
speaker, hold on.
Sí, sí.
And can I have the interpreter? So speaker, if you could just give us 1 minute. So if you could let her know to please speak up just a little and then to pause every once in a while so that you can interpret and we'll hold your time. So
Sí, sí, señora, si por favor puede hablar un poquito, hacer una pausa para que yo la traduzca, después sigue hablando y no se preocupe que vamos a pausar mientras que la intérprete habla,
Ok,
para que no hablemos al mismo tiempo. Gracias.
sí.
There's
Oh,
Rob
yo
Kwan.
estoy diciendo que aceptaron a hoy el hospital para hacerlo, no para la comunidad, para afectar a nuestros hijos.
Okay, she says that the hospital was accepted, but that wasn't in benefit of the community or benefit for our children. Continúe.
30 años de estar viviendo aquí en Boyle Heights.
I've been living for 30 years in Boyle Heights.
Nunca se había visto tanta cosa como a hoy
We
que se
haven't-
está viendo,
We haven't seen the things we are seeing now.
porque aquí en Boyle Heights los concejales como Kevin de León y otros concejales que han entrado están trayendo proyectos.
Because here in Boyle Heights, the councils such as Kevin de Leon, they're bringing projects
Ya paren esos proyectos de
'Cause they
traer,
get the money.
that
The
they should
dinero.
stop bringing these type of projects.
porque no son para nosotros la comunidad. Yo ando en la calle con mis hijos, tengo 2 años de andar en la calle con mis 2 niños, uno lo tengo en la secundaria o ya para la universidad y no quieren ir a la universidad porque no nos hemos bañado, estamos en la calle
Okay,
y
espera
nadie
un
nos
segundito.
responde.
So I've been on the streets myself already for 2 years with 2 kids, and one of them is now finishing high school. He should be going into college, but he doesn't want to go because he's embarrassed because we cannot even take a shower.
Recogemos ropa, nos las quitan porque no tenemos dónde ponerla. Ahorita yo tenía ropa con un amigo en su carro, se lo acaban de llevar ayer el carro con toda mi ropa. ¿Y cómo lo voy a sacar si soy homeless?
So we just pick up any kind of clothing that are given to us, but then they take it away. Like yesterday, I left all my clothing in the car of a friend, but the car was towed. So then how are they going to go to school if they don't even have clothing?
Thank you.
Gracias, señora.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Se le acabó el tiempo.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Okay, next speaker, please.
All right, a few more, and then I think we go to the phones, guys. Only like 2 more left.
General public comment.
Okay, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
My name is Samantha. I am here with the Eastside Leads Coalition to express my anger and disdain on behalf of tenants who have been affected by USC and Council District 14 selling out the Eastside community. As the youngest person in this room and as a first-generation college student, I recognize that colleges like USC are not an option for me. I cannot trust a beast who proactively ignores and displaces historically, systemically underserved communities like mine. There is no accountability, nor has there been since 1985 for USC as it continued to take advantage of marginalized communities. Trust is destroyed. The main argument is that these projects will promote health and advance the health, yet you fail to realize that we are surrounded by freeways, food deserts, and lack of mental health resources.
Food deserts?
I expect to die from cancer. My mother has cancer. What the fuck is USC going to do for me? Shame on racist CD14, shame on USC, and they are not our savior. They are
Thank
the
you.
displacers.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
See you Trojans, you condoms are starting it all.
Good morning. My name is Heidi Gonzalez.
And Reggie Bush.
I live in Lincoln Heights,
Sorry, Reggie.
District
Just a
1, and I work in District 14. Thank you, Council Unices Hernandez, for posting to the hubs. 2 weeks ago, I was picking up my daughter from school by Parque de la Raza, and there was no parking. So I had to double park for less than 5 minutes. And guess what? I got a ticket.
Sure you did.
Today, you approve a project that will bring over 800 jobs, but no parking. Parking is a huge stressor for me and my neighbors, and Plum ignored this. Know that your vote will impact District 1 and 14 negatively.
Thank you.
So you're mad that you got a ticket because you
Thank
fucked
you.
up and parked somewhere.
Next
got
speaker,
it.
please.
Good
All right,
morning.
everybody.
Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning. Topic point number 13 and general comment. Please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
Good morning, honorable team. My name is Julian Alexander
Honorable.
Macara of A-Dream Foundation
What?
or adreamnow.org. Spent yesterday afternoon contacting your offices once more so we can communicate the value program.
I think you're trying to say
This
honorable.
document was sent over to each one of your offices, the city attorney and the clerk's office, including the mayor, at 9:56 on Sunday. This document provides a plan relative to the goal that's being taken place here on topic number 13, $200,000. Thank you for laughing right now, Mr. Harrison Dawson, as I'm speaking. You guys are doing wonderful earlier. In respects to the amount of money being invested, either to support as the discrepancy that I was bringing up earlier, are you going to promote a more proactive LAPD force or a more communal force? Now, do you want more incarcerations and more of what's taking place, or do you want more accessibility? Please look at the value program. Now for my public general comment. What the value program is, because when I'm speaking to your staff, much like what is taking place here, they're showing ignorance. So, and excuse me for these words because they are harsh. They are representative of the constituents that, like that young lady, when your office asks, who am I helping? That young lady, her entire family and her need help. That is who I'm helping. And if you are all claiming immigrant status, my father was this, my mother, I haven't stated anything of my family. I blow you out of the water. Can we please support each other? None of you have called. Ms. Hernandez, you should have been the first one to respond because you are my council representative, and Mr. Kevin De Leon. Because of your negligence, the entire city of Los Angeles is now dealing with my prudence. You are laughing, all three of you, with your hands up. This is being recorded. I wasn't given a golf club on my freshman year.
Stick.
Thank you very much.
Stick. Golf stick, apparently.
All right. There was someone who signed up with the name number that I didn't call, but I think I've got.
Shout out to everybody who's a victim now.
In the council
I'm a black man. There's no justice for me here in America.
No others.
I should be at the front of the line.
Yeah, well, I'm gay and subject to ridicule and discrimination
callers
wherever I
on the phone,
go.
I'm going to remind you that there is one item open for public comment. That is item 13, relating to LAPD funding in CD5.
It's all the victimhood right
So
there.
let's go ahead and take the first caller, please.
First caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Yeah, hi, Daniel Gus, Substack.com. I'm just going to go to general public comment today.
Okay, Daniel. Good morning. You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Great. A reminder to Mr. Krikorian, this is not my chambers. It's ours. And that's a perfect example of your self-absorbed arrogance. It's our chambers, not your chambers, Mr. Krikorian. You stole $1 billion from Recreation and Parks since 2010 to plug budget holes as the chair of Budget and Finance. That is your legacy for stealing $1 billion. And sue me for defamation, Mr. Krikorian. If I'm lying, you stole $1 billion from the people who use the parks most, which is elderly, children, and the poor. You displaced homeless people from shelters in your district and across the city by putting in illegal immigrants from China, Cuba, and Venezuela. That's your legacy, sir. By the way, you are risking.
Thank you very much. Your time has expired. Next
Shout out
caller,
to DanielGus.substack.com. That was not a minute. That wasn't a minute. That was not a minute.
Caller with the
Love
unknown
Daniel.
number,
How could
please
you
press
not like
star 6 to unmute yourself.
DanielGus.substack.com? How could you not like him?
Caller with the unknown number. This
That's
is your
a
last
fucking
opportunity to
patriot
speak.
right there.
Please press star 6 to unmute.
He is a patriot.
Okay. Next caller, please.
Next caller.
Come on,
please
DEI
proceed.
sound guy. Let's get it together.
This is Richard Serrano, CD candidate for 6.
Shout out to Richard Serrano.
Item 13 and general public comments.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general.
Why does it take us funding LAPD to do their job? You call a local area office and they transfer to a general office. There was an accident in front of Mission Division, right in front of their facility. They had to call different division to come out and attend to that motorcyclist on the ground. They couldn't do it themselves while they were there. The people don't get the clue. Being on the clock isn't the same as doing your job.
Yeah, Kino. You told me.
With a 45-minute response time, after a 40-minute wait on hold to get the call through, is ridiculous. You guys had emergency response people come in and apply at 50, 50 people, you hired 30. You should have hired the other 20 and put them in LAPD. Because you having to fund this to come do their jobs, and then what, again, every 2 weeks? How are you going to clean the city when you're only funding this kind of stuff for a cleanup area or something you're going to do every 2 weeks? Now, general public comment on number 1, Mila Padilla, are you using, now you're voting in what I told you 6-7 months ago at Sun Valley Neighborhood Council meeting? What you said, no, it doesn't work. What Park had done, $500 Visa card that you said, no, it doesn't exist. Now you're using it in your district. I wish you paid attention. It'll help our district get better. Don't just vote for something because you're sitting there. Listen to the product because you're pushing this stuff through. Number 5, it's awesome. I wish you guys were sitting in the chambers in the back when you guys were doing this election to cut the 10,000 positions, because you had people that were there sitting there as clerks being told by their supervisors that they can't help other departments no more because they don't have the funding for it. So when normally you would hand somebody a piece of paper,
Thank you.
I can't do that.
Mr. Shona, your time's expired.
Dr.
Next
Richard.
speaker, please.
Next speaker, please proceed.
Yeah, it's Eric Previn. I'd like to provide a public comment on the item with Katie Yaroslavsky, LAPD funding, and then also I'll deliver a general public comment about the.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
Sure,
Go
I'll
ahead.
do it. I just want to mention that my public comment will be about the most shameful council I've ever encountered. Okay, going to Katie. Katie Yaroslavsky, I think Quan adequately described what's going on here. There are some reactionary groups that she has to calm down, so she's funding, like John Lee, discretionary money right to LAPD overtime. Yeah, whatever. I mean, they need you get what you pay for, unfortunately, in this community. And that's what's so sad, because people are being paid as part of the operation of CD2 and CD4 in ways that you don't quite see because they're favors. And I want to take a moment to say thank you to Katie for this item, and also to Mr. Monte, the guy who's the chief of staff for
Randy
Lindsay
Orton.
Horvath. He used to be
Autograph.
over at David
Patch
Rue's
auto.
office. This guy's turning out to be a real piece of shit, because what we have in our community is significant needs that they love to prance around about,
General public
but
comment?
not for the people.
It's going to go up on eBay.
Thank you.
I don't
Not for the people who they're ripping off, along with Krikorian and his kids and the assholes at Harvard Westlake who have just simply stepped into our
I already
community
have one.
with disregard
Sell this
and
one.
they're pretending to care and saying we'll get a chance. We won't.
Yeah, they
And
bought
now
us a
at the
baseball
NB
card,
at the
wrestling card,
at the
stinks.
Demon Park Studio City Rec Center, after years of diligent work by the Coro Foundation horror shows, wiggling around to steal the money from Marquis Harris Dawson and Curran Price and the districts that can't mount properly Prop K projects, over $30 million, including the collusion of Brad Sherman, who ought to simply resign. Just resign.
I agree.
If you don't pay attention closely enough to know what's going on. And you can look at his chief of staff, too. They're all little gang of crooks, and it's appalling. And then sitting at the front is Krikorian. Where's Herb Wesson? Herb Wesson was just as bad as Krikorian. And Nuri Martinez is the council president who we will all remember, because she at least had the balls to step away.
Your time has expired. Thank you very much. Next
On his
speaker,
last
please.
day, he's getting dunked
Next
by
speaker,
everybody.
please proceed.
Eric Previn just gave him a piece. Daniel Gus gave him a piece. Richard Serrano gave him a
Yes,
piece.
my name is Petty Pinkface, Armenian Dictator, and I'm a smoke a scan viewer.
So the only item open for comment is item 13, which deals with Council District 5. Just for the record, Figueroa is not in Council District 5. Go ahead.
Noted the Armenian
Do you want to
Dictator.
speak on item
How about you
13?
talk then?
Do you want to speak to item 13?
Anyway, shout out to the smoke scan community. Yes, indeed. Why not? Hell. And aren't you supposed to be cleaning out your desk or something there, brother?
You're
so
not
this is
speaking
not
to
on
item
the
13.
agenda.
Last warning.
Jason, now
Well,
don't.
damn, brother. All right. Anyway, shout out to the smoke can community. The other day I was down on Figueroa.
Okay,
we
just
were
put
hanging
him
out
to
doing
general
some things.
public comment. You'll have 1 minute for general public comment, and what you did on Figueroa is not within the jurisdiction of this council.
Well, damn, Armenian Dictator. All right. Well, anyway, shout out to the smoke can community. We're having a good meeting as usual there, and I like to say that I think it's a good day we got today, brother, there, because after the day you have to turn your hue on your TV up and down anymore because this petty pink fake dictator here blowing out your damn TV with his bright ass pink ass face there looking like a little prick there. But good day. Hopefully we have a few chases this week. It's been kind of low on the chase side. After this pink face dictator leaves there, we'll maybe have a better meeting, and y'all have a good one.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Thank you.
Next caller, please proceed.
Rocklanders, Los Angeles private investigator.
Good morning. Which items?
Afternoon, nerds and virgins. Pete, this is our chambers, not yours. Items 13 and general public comments.
We have
Those
1
are the
minute for
only
the
two
item
available
and
there.
1
genius.
minute for general. Go ahead with the items.
PDZ, thank you.
All right, 13. Instead of pulling more money out of the budget so corrupt people can buy votes, maybe they should
Congrats,
have a
Petey.
fundraiser and sell cookies like the Girl Scouts. We could do some smoke and scan themed snickerdoodles, Figueroa baby batter Newtons, and Lady Red sweet velvet beef. I'll be selling them Friday after the meeting at the 7-Eleven on Figueroa.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and speak to the agenda item, or we can move you to general public
I
comment.
was talking about the cops and you guys, trying to use the city's money to buy votes, but I'll go to general public comment.
Okay, 1 minute.
Thank you. I want to be clear. I don't condone or support the harassment, violence, or threats of violence towards dwarfs, midgets, or Frito Banditos. I can't blame people for calling a number that is announced online during a council meeting or tell them that they shouldn't call. Just like I can't fault the ladies that email me pictures of their boobies at
So this is not within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city, so you need to connect it to something
Okay,
that's within...
as it refers to the council, just listen up, genius. Peter, as mad as you got for people calling into the council and calling you out for not doing a 9/11 tribute at the beginning of the meeting, if there's nothing wrong with doing things like a tribute to people at the end of the meeting, why didn't you have that guy with the cocaine eyes jumping around come in and do his thing after public comment today? I mean, it seems mighty hypocritical of you. Word of the day, Van Ness Bandito's vacuum. It refers to a glory hole in Van Ness.
Okay.
Next, that is not on topic and your time
Next
has
caller,
expired.
please.
A law enforcement
Next
type of
caller,
guy
please proceed.
who is hired by people to stop these bad individuals.
Shout out to Brock and Jason, man. You
All
guys
right,
are
fuck you, Paul Krikorian. I will
Under
speak
over
on
6.
the item and general public comment.
Under over
1 minute
6.
for item number 13 and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
All right, the item is a motion from Katie Yaroslavsky for police funding, LAPD funding, and CD5. Fuck that. Don't give more money to the LAPD. Of course, since it's also CD5 from Yaroslavsky, I hope that none of this money is going to be used to attack, have LAPD come attack anti-genocide protesters, and then, create a campaign to claim that those anti-genocide protesters were anti-Semitic when they were protesting genocide and not not the existence of Jewish people. So no on police funding and CD5, especially if it's going to be used to attack anti-genocide protesters. Now let's go on to general public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
All right, so today is the last day of the worst council president we've had, Paul Krikorian, who nobody likes at all. This has been a real disaster the last year. I mean, the last 2 years. And it's just every day. And today he began the meeting, way he began his meetings when he started, by just absolutely losing his shit and yelling at people just nonstop for during the protest in the chamber. I mean, and the reason Paul was ever doing this was to defend and protect a bunch of racists, of which he is as well, a bunch of racists who work to gerrymander the redistricting process, compared a black child to a handbag. And that's Paul Krikorian. And we've seen a massive reduction in the ability to provide input. Fuck you, Paul. Shout out to the DJ Krikorian guy.
So your time
next speaker
fired.
It's a push. Nobody
Next
wins.
speaker, please proceed.
Got to write on the button. 6 is not a loss or a win. You got to.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. Boy, what a day. This is great. Mr. Krikorian, for all
Which
the good
items would you like to speak to?
I thank you. Mr. Krikorian, for the things we disagreed upon.
Okay, 1 minute for general public
I
comment.
got the
Go
line
ahead.
perfect.
Yes. Number 13 and number...
Go ahead with
public
item
comment.
13, and then you can move on to general public comment.
You know, every district is roughly about the same size as Santa Clarita. So if an area like the 12th district, where we respect the police officers, where our councilman John Lee fights to make our community safe, we want to have that money, and we want it to go to the police department. So if the district that is representing today, and they're asking for that money, Yaroslavsky, they deserve it. Now, the rest of you, if you don't like it, don't come into the area. You know what? Don't come in the area. But in the 12th district, and with John Lee's leadership, we respect law and order. And John Lee and I are not friends. He's not going to do me any big favors. Okay, John, I need parking for Friday. Hopefully Smoking Scum will be there. So don't forget, I need parking. 5.
6.
Let's move on to general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Quickly, to the young man from Smoking Scan who yesterday stood on topic and talked about the issues. I liked what you had to say, young man, and I hope we hear more from you. But for Smoking Scum, you guys call me every day, threaten me every day. Now, you say you're going to be on Friday, and we're going to look and be able to see, Jason and that other knuckle PA head eye.
Yeah, Candido, I'm sorry. What that group is talking among themselves is not within the jurisdiction of this council.
Sir, it has to do with the city, because we need to clean the city up before the Olympics. So hopefully those knuckleheads will be there. And to Mr. Herman, to disgrace the United States...
So again, this is your last warning. Please stick to items, as opposed to responding to members of the public, please stick to items that are within the jurisdiction of the city.
But this nation and this council stands on the bravery of Marines. And as someone who comes from a family who has served for over 100 years...
Okay, Mr. Candido, your time has expired.
All right, thank you. Next caller, please.
Next caller, please proceed.
Dude, he can't help to talk about Smoking Scum. Shout out to Smoking Scum.
Hi there, my name is Fernanda. I'd like to do general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
He
Go
is
ahead.
Terry.
Hi there, my name is Fernanda. I'm the president of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood
Wants us
Council.
to stand on
Yesterday,
business.
I presented a community impact statement in person at the Plum meeting for item number 3. When the meeting was over, I was approached from behind and threatened by David Galaviz, the senior director of community relations for USC. He bent down and said into my ear, "Do not worry, we are going to take over your neighborhood council." This is an unprovoked threat to a public elected official. David Galaviz is a paid USC representative that is supposed to be working with the community on community benefits, and I'm calling for his immediate resignation. I felt very unsafe and very targeted. His presence in our communities is only going to further perpetuate the harm that USC has caused. I do not take these threats lightly. This was frightening, belittling, and honestly a really triggering experience, and one that I did not ever expect when presenting at Chambers. I will be escalating this to the utmost degree. Nobody should be tolerant of threats and such tactics.
So, Speaker, your time has expired.
She's triggered.
Next caller, please.
Next caller, please proceed. Caller with the unknown number, please press star 6 to unmute yourself.
Someone got a blocked number. Who is it? Jason?
Caller with the
Jason
unknown number,
again.
this is your last opportunity to
I bet it's
speak. Please
Jason.
press star 6 to unmute.
Here it comes. Here it goes.
Okay, so we're going to have to move on to the next caller.
I can hear his fucking face. I can hear him right now.
Next caller, please proceed.
Hello, good morning. My name is Victor Reyes, speaking on behalf of VICA, the Valley Industry Commerce Association,
Thanks,
in support
Victor.
of the USC Translational and Discovery Hub.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general.
Thank you. VICA strongly supports USC's proposed Discovery and Translational Hub as a significant enhancement to our region and statewide biotech and healthcare sectors. This innovative project will bridge the gap between groundbreaking scientific research and practical healthcare solutions, as well as fostering collaboration among researchers, industry professionals, and clinicians. The USC Discovery and Translational Hub represents a multifaceted investment in our region's future. This project will not only provide immense educational benefits to students and emerging scientists, but also ensuring a continued pipeline for talent in critical fields that will also generate substantial economic activity. By incorporating environmental and community health considerations, this initiative goes beyond a mere investment in USC and stands as a profound commitment to health, education, and economic vitality. We urge the Council to support this project for the benefit of the communities and advancement of our healthcare industry. Thank you.
No shit.
Okay,
Well,
next
Meg
speaker.
hasn't talked today. Is she even there?
Next
Oh, she's
speaker,
there.
Please proceed.
She'll speak towards the end, I bet.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to?
Hi, my name's Estella with Gadfly Herald. I'd like to speak on all available items and general public comment, please.
So you have 1 minute for item 13 and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
Thank you. For item 13, let's just call item 13 what it is. In District 5, we have University of California, Century City, Westwood, very rich areas. So let's just call item 13 what it is. Let's call item 13 what it is, and it is a bribe. Item 13 is a bribe. Now, why would Los Angeles City Council want to bribe with item 13? Why would they want to bribe the LAPD? Maybe because they're acting like tyrants in their council meetings and banishing the public for simply accessing their First Amendment right. Maybe item 13 is
So
a
this
bribe.
is not related to item 13 specifically. You're welcome to continue during general.
Excuse me? No, I am speaking about item 13. You're not going to interrupt me. I want my time back. Let's call it a bribe, item 13, so that they can bribe their constituents to look past their constitutional violations. Let's call item 13 a bribe to consolidate their LAPD force to have them have their back instead of the people who they are paid to protect. Let's call item 13 a bribe. Maybe you should put those LAPD officers on Figueroa Street. How about that?
How about that?
Okay, I'll go to general public comment.
So
please.
you're already in your general public comment, but you can continue.
No, I was on item 13, and you will give me my minute. Thank you. Now, doxing, Herman, doxing Mr. Spindler, that is illegal. We are all now witnesses of a crime, and if you vote yes on item 13, you will be voting for a bribe participating in that crime. Thank you for my time. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.
Next caller, please proceed.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, caller, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 13 in public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to
don't
Katie
bite
for
that
presenting
Don't bite
the
the
item. Good idea to send funds over to LAPD to protect the community from some of the callers. Unfortunately, the rhetoric is turned up to high, and the protection for the community is needed. I'll go on to public comment.
Okay,
also,
so you have 1 minute.
A kind, gentle reminder, even though the vaccine mandate has ended, people are still getting terminated. This is highly unfair, and something should be done about that.
Good boy, Steve.
You guys have the power to change that,
Play it,
to
lady.
end all these border rights and all these civil processes, and you haven't done it. I encourage you to take action. Mr. Krikorian, thank you for your leadership. I may not have always agreed with the way you did things, but I respect the fact that you were doing the best you can with what you have at hand. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take one more caller.
Next caller, please proceed.
Well, the last caller. Oh, the last caller. This is Hurdy for Gertie.
So which items?
Smoking Skin Doer.
80.
I'll just talk about all items. Well, item 13 and general public
Okay,
comment.
so you have 1 minute for item 13 and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
So you need funding for the cops on your district for keeping young prosecute. Yeah, I'm all for the funding for the police. They keep crime in order. They keep crime down and order preserved. So that's a good reason to keep them funded for the LAPD. Funded. Yeah, so I'm all for funding the LAPD, especially now when the district attorney does not prosecute or charge people for crimes. So there's a conflict right there. They're just chasing their tails around, arresting people, and the LA district attorney is not pressing charges on those that are committing the crime. So instead of doing all the funding, I would go for addressing the root of the problem and getting rid of George Cascone as a...
Okay, so general public comment?
General public comment, yes. Hey, hit the road, Jack, and never come back no more. I'm sorry, Damon, spoke at the end. You get a copyright strike on that, but that's a great show to watch when you have the time now. Armenian Dictator. But yeah, goodbye, good riddance, and we'll have our city council or city hall and council back to the way it should be. And bravo to those that were defying the orders and causing problems for the city council today, because you don't represent us. It's no taxation without proper implementation. So yeah, if you want to implement taxes, want to put in taxes, there's got to be a proper implementation. Where are those taxes? Where's that money going? Oh, it's just going to be spent here, there, everywhere, because you don't really...
Caller, your time has expired.
Shout out to Hurdy from the Gertie.
Right. Thank you for those insights. That will close public comment on all agenda items and close general public comment.
I think he was being facetious.
With that, Mr. Clerk, I think we can go to item 13.
That's correct, sir.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go to item
Are
13,
you
I apologize. I would like to recognize Councilmember Blumenfield for an announcement.
Yes, thank you very much. All of us rely on interns in our offices to make our office
Surprised
go
they have that many,
here in
Kenny.
City Hall and in our districts.
Kenny.
I have two of my district interns that are here today.
And really,
I wanted
Kenny,
to
we're at
recognize
almost
them, and also keeping in the balance
750 with all the
of
other
Bruin
rooms.
and Trojan. I got one of each here. I wanted to recognize them because they've been working in the district office. And
Although I think they're
doing
on
that.
Facebook,
so Rayon is
too.
an intern in my district office. He's a recent sociology graduate from USC, preparing for the LSAT to pursue a law degree. He previously interned with SAGE and is focused on education outreach and advocacy in underdeveloped areas. And Exley is a fourth-year political science student at UCLA, the Bruin, to keep the balance. And her experiences have shown her how important it is to use our voices in our community. Thank you both for continuing to intern, and I wanted to recognize you in front of everyone so folks could give them a hand. Thank you.
Thank you for your service to CD3 and best luck in your careers. All right, Mr. Clerk, we can go next to item 13.
Yes, item 13 was called special by Councilmember Hernandez for a separate vote.
All right. Do any members wish to be heard? Councilmember Hernandez, do you need to be heard? Any other members need to be heard on item 13? Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
Oh, yes.
13 ayes, 2 noes.
Very good.
Who said no?
What's next before us, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. President, Council has motions for posting and referral.
Without objection, posted and referred. Next.
The desk is clear.
Very good. Members, are there any announcements? Council President Pro Tem Harris-Dawson.
Thank you so much, Council President Krikorian. Today is a very special and big day for the city of Los Angeles.
And a lot of us have a lot of great things to say today that we're all very excited about. Well, we're going to start with a video presentation that should cue now.
Hopefully there's no music. Probably going to be some. Yeah, start with the riots.
Paul Krikorian, chosen unanimously by his colleagues on the council, new council president.
You took the helm in a challenging time, and you navigated the council back to order and calm that has allowed the work of the city to move forward. And let me just say, that's an understatement.
13 votes for Councilmember Paul Krikorian.
Congratulations. You have in a unanimous vote, and I gratefully yield the floor back to you.
There have been a lot of accomplishments in this past year, but I think leading among them in my mind is the fact that this council has been able to really turn a page. Since then, we have 7 brand new members of the council, and these members have really hit the ground running and have been able to really demonstrate to the city how effectively this council can operate. So I couldn't be more pleased with the budget that we have produced together that will guide this city forward. We moved forward with the strongest tenant protection program that has ever happened in the history of the city and setting a national standard. Madam Clerk, if you could, on the long-awaited downtown community plan, let's open the roll.
13 ayes.
Congratulations, everyone. And so I really want to applaud all of the members of this council in being able to get us to the point where we did something monumentally important for the city of Los Angeles today. We've already, for example, passed my motion to exempt affordable units from site plan review, which has already opened up, a wide variety of projects that could be expedited and get done much more quickly.
That is. All right. Smoke. Look at her face. She looks thrilled to be there. Look at her. Look at her face. She looks fucking thrilled. Is that his wife? It's probably his wife. She looks thrilled to be there. Oh, man.
Metal. We're coming after you because we will not only be pursuing civil remedies, we will seek to shut your business down. I can't stress enough the historic vote that you're about to take, which will once and for all take redistricting completely out of the hands of this council and give it to citizens to decide who will represent them rather than having elected officials decide which citizens they want to represent.
13 ayes. We know that your legacy in this chamber will continue long after you have left it. So on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, its residents, and from me personally, thank you, Mr. President.
No claps from me. Hopefully they give him an old peachy folder. You
guys.
Standing ovation. Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna cry like a little girl. So fake.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.
It's the only time I've seen them all in their seats.
The video laid out the tremendous accomplishments of Council President Krikorian during his time as president of the council and as a member of the council, and the policy victories and the way the city has moved is well documented and will be a part of this city's history. When I was reflecting on the council president, I was reminded or brought back to the moment that was kind of like the moment we faced for different reasons in 2022. It reminded me when this city was going through the civil unrest of 1992. And that was sort of when I came to political life, and we watched what everyone did at that moment in history and how tough it was. And there were those who called big meetings and had big rallies and made big speeches, and some of us shook our fist at the sky or our fist at this other person, or were looking for someone to blame. And then there were the real community heroes. There was the shopkeeper or the pastor who got a broom and went out to the street and just started sweeping. And then they called on their next neighbor and says, "Can you sweep too?" Those are the people that helped rebuild this city and rebuild this community, and they did so quietly. And they did so with dignity, and they did so putting the city and the community first. And that's what I watched
That's
Paul
it, Mr.
Corey
Foley.
do. And the
Is that
example I
fucking
saw him
Foley
set
in here?
in 2022. Like any politician, Council President is capable of eloquent oratorical flourishes in a spirited way. If you've ever heard his speech about fireworks on the 4th of July, you know he can bring the heat. But he didn't use that opportunity to do that. He didn't use the opportunity to bring attention to himself or to make a spectacle. He just brick by brick, relationship by relationship, phone call by phone call, meeting by meeting, did the work to put the city back together again. And I believe this city owes you an eternal spirit of gratitude. And you will be remembered as long as there's a city called Los Angeles on the west coast of the North American continent for what you did for this council. And
Why
so
don't you just
from the
lick
bottom
his
of my
balls
heart, on behalf
already?
of all my constituents, and I think all of my colleagues on the council,
Give
thank
his
you so much,
balls
Paul
a lick.
Krikorian.
That's what you should
Thank
do.
you very much. Councilmember
You ain't
Blumenfield.
gonna chase. Stop the cat.
Thank
What?
you. I want to
Line
add
up
to
in
what
here.
Marquise is saying. I mean, you and I go back a long way, Paul. We first started serving together back in '08. When I was elected, you were already in the assembly. You were then thrown into the budget world back then when we were
Hump day?
locked into
Sure.
chambers for 48 hours in the big crisis of the moment. And you've carried that mantle forward, being the budget chair here, doing the work, as Marquise says, carefully doing the work every day. But you're someone who
I'm
has
watching
done the
it,
work
Perfect
in a
Cracker.
way that
It's not doing any of
you
of
have
that.
these values. that are
Driving through a
your
residential neighborhood at
firm in
15
your
miles an
values,
hour.
But you have the flexibility to make policy and to work with others. To
Maybe
get
you're
things
watching
done.
it
Something I
back,
have tremendous
and
respect.
you're not realizing it.
As council
I'm
president,
looking at it live on the
you've
other
known
camera.
that
on
it's
the other
not
TV
it's not
screen.
about I, it's about we.
Or computer.
And that's
It's not a
something
TV,
that distinguishes you as an effective leader, knowing that when we go to a forum or something, you can always count on Council President Corey
Yeah,
to
well, he
recognize
lost him.
his council
He
members.
got
that are
dusted
there.
then.
That's what
You can't
a
find
leader
him.
does. A leader is putting forward the team, and you have been a leader in so many ways. And
Well,
I've seen
Beamer
you,
done
we've
dusted him
traveled to
out.
Armenia together. We've worked on so many projects,
Some
environmental
fast
projects,
Beamers out there.
both in the legislature and here in council. And then as council president, I was honored when you chose me to be the assistant pro tem, working with you closely on many issues, and at a time when, as Mr. Harris Dawson mentioned, we were in dire straits as a city. I mean, this city was really being torn apart, and we needed someone to be a healer. We needed someone to come in, sweep up, and say, let's just get to business. Someone who wears a tie every day, because Paul always is clear about wearing a tie every day. But it's not so much the tie, but that's symbolic of the fact. I'm sorry, Hugo. You don't
Says
wear a tie. It's
look
okay.
at him with the too lazy.
You don't have to, but the point, Paul, it's symbolic of
He
the fact
never wears them either.
that you
All right,
believe in
everybody.
decorum. You have a clear sense of how things should be done, and how you want to model the behavior.
He's talking
and get
about
it done.
Krikorian.
And you have been doing that.
What he's really doing is this.
So
He's taking
I'm
his
just-
ass cheeks apart.
You know, it's always sad. Good things come to an end, and your council presidency is at
And he's
its,
putting his tongue in his asshole.
it's sunset at the moment.
It's really what it is.
But we will move forward
Nothing
as a
else.
council because of your leadership. We'll always think, what would Paul do? That'll always be in our mind. But I also wanted to today with great pride, mention two things that we are doing as a council. We're moving forward to rename 2 cherished spaces in our community to honor.
Look at his face.
Councilmember
Doesn't
Paul
it look like he's got a tongue in his
One
ass?
is
Look at
the
his face.
Victory Valley
on the
Child
left.
Care Center, which will now be known
Looks like he's got a
as
tongue
the
in his
Council
butthole right
President
now.
Paul Krikorian Child Care Center. And it's not because we think you're childish or anything like that. It's not just a renaming. It's a tribute to his steadfast commitment to supporting working families by restoring a network of low-cost, first-rate child care centers.
He should just get up and mushroom stamp his face.
Similarly,
put it right on his glasses. He's got a fucking perma mushroom on one
under his
lens.
leadership will now be known as the Council President Paul Krikorian Soccer Fields. Years ago, these fields were little more than dirt patches. But today, thanks to Paul's vision and dedication, they are world-class amenities where children and young adults can engage in sports
Bro, is you crying
and
over there?
community-building activities. These soccer fields have become a source of pride for our community, hosting an annual citywide soccer tournament with over 300 young participants, many of whom are part of vital programs such as the LAPD Cadet Initiative. It's a place where future generations will learn values of teamwork, discipline, and community, all values that Council President Paul Krikorian has exemplified throughout his career. So with these renamings, we are going to help ensure the legacy of Council President Paul Krikorian that will continue to live on in this institution, will echo in these hallowed halls, and inspire and benefit our community for years to come. And we have a little bit of a video
petty
on
pink
these 2
eyes.
renamings.
We doing another fucking, I mean, didn't we have enough?
One of my biggest priorities has been to restore our child care facilities and also to reinvest in our parks to make them the kinds of assets for our neighborhoods that people need and that people can be proud of. And very important, we set aside another $20 million to be able to reopen child care facilities just like
What a fucking hero you are.
closed for more than
You mean
a decade.
our 20
And
million,
very soon,
not like you
this
paid
is
for
gonna
it.
be open again, the first
You just
restored
spent
child
it.
care facility in the city of Los Angeles.
Lead it on me, lead it on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, guys. Gonna mess it all up.
I find you unacceptable.
It's true, man. Fucking Beldar's gonna rip your head off. Fucking Beldar. Fuck, was he playing Santa Claus here? Look at him. Red polo shirt.
Alrighty then.
Ah, that picture, bro. Stop. All right, can we get it over with? The ass licking. Are we done? Is the penis lick over?
I'm going to ask you to look at that screen to your right and call on other members who'd like to speak at this moment, Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you very much. And thank you for that incredible gesture. That I can't tell you how much that means to me. I appreciate it very much.
Incredible gesture.
Councilmember Padilla, followed by Councilmember Lee.
Council President Krikorian, I just want to remind you that, or let you know that from my perspective, I think you've been a very strong advocate for the San Fernando Valley and a great partner to me since I joined this council. And I want to thank you for helping us address these big issues collectively as a city. You know, I really appreciated that you came through with helping me bring back the meetings to Van Nuys. I will always applaud your audacity to hold the city of Burbank accountable with what we saw in that video with the homeless. I really appreciated that you partnered with me this year with the remembrance of the Armenian genocide. And also, as I've told your team, I really appreciate the work that you guys championed to improve Lancashire. That's going to improve both the 2nd and the 6th district. And of course, what we celebrated earlier this week, your work on the Sun Valley
Thank
Bike
you, Scrumble.
Path. That stretches
Scrumble.
across multiple districts. So again, I appreciate what you've done. Your leadership and partnership have made a lasting impact on me and on the communities we serve. And I too will very much miss the decorum that you have brought to this,
Very
to
much
the
miss.
operations of our council. I know this is not a goodbye. This is a see you later, and I
very
hope to
much
continue
miss.
seeing you around. And also appreciate that you've always continued, that you've had a strong team that works in collaboration. So best of luck, and see you later.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Lee, followed by Councilmember Price.
First of all, I want to make sure, Council President, you are staying on the council for a bit, right? You're gonna.
As far as I know.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure because just want to say.
You weren't leaving?
Along with what everyone else
guys he
has said
wasn't
about your
gonna leave.
leadership of this council during, really challenging and tough times. For me, more, Paul, I really appreciate, when I got sworn into office, it was a special election. It wasn't like, the fanfare that you get when a whole group of people come in. I was just thrust into it, and lucky for me,
Right, Jose?
K, and I had you sitting next to me. While I've been in this building, for a very long time, it's a much different thing when you have to sit in that seat. In fact, I think occasionally you would look at me and say, John, it's okay if you sit down in that seat because that was the council member seat. But as I got more comfortable on this council, I had a front row view to watching you speak very passionately about the issues that you care about.
Why don't you
and I think
just
one
lick his
time I even
penis
mentioned
already?
to you, I said,
Get it over with.
When I grow up, I want to be Paul Krikorian.
Oh, my God.
When I grew up as a councilman, I want to be Paul Krikorian because
Holy
with the
fuck.
thoughtfulness that you put towards the subjects you talk about, the passion that you show, but it's
Holy
just the
fuck.
eloquence in which you speak on it. I learned so much from that, and I appreciated that time, minus the time we were on Zoom and COVID. I got to sit next to you and experience all of that firsthand and all the knowledge that you have. And
I got to sit next to you.
I think all of us, when we want to learn more about this building, and everyone really appreciates that video, that history that you did on that video you put together about the history of this building. But that goes to show about how much you care about the history of not only this building, but the city of Los Angeles. And so while I appreciate your leadership up there, I really appreciate the time sitting next to you, when I started in this building as a council member. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Hey, John Lee.
Are you fucking
Councilmember
retarded?
Price, followed by Councilmember Rodriguez.
I need to know. I just need to know.
Mr. President, I'm just happy to join with my colleagues as we.
Oh, look who's here. Grady.
Time. We certainly salute your service and welcome the new spirit of leadership coming in with Marquise.
I got to turn that retarded one down.
But
It's a
I
little
guess
too hot.
Bob and Kevin and I had the benefit of appreciating your skills as a consensus builder, as a budget chair. In our time in Sacramento during those troubling years, 08, 09, 10, we had those troubling budgets. I think you may recall them. We had some massive cuts, legendary cuts. We cut the car allowances. We cut other benefits. And it was really an opportunity to see how you worked under pressure, under stress. And you came through. You were able to make something out of nothing. And make everybody feel they had a role to play and were involved, as we did on the Assembly side. I know it's a big deal when we talk about the budget at that time. We had IOUs. We remember we couldn't cash the checks, but it was your skill, your leadership, I think, that really helped to push that through in ways that we hadn't seen before. And of course, we didn't always agree. But we agreed to be agreeable, and so that was evidenced in many activities together. I was reminded of our trip to Africa, as well as the Far East, at a time when it was really significant. And of course, here on the City Council,
Are you fucking?
Building has just continued. Obviously, we appreciate your efforts on the budget.
One more.
Are you fucking retarded?
Better.
I'm very pleased with your commitment to. Addressing those concerns of those who are least able to fend for themselves. So you were always supporting minimum wage increases. We appreciate that. Ban the bots, guaranteed basic income, legacy program, many programs and policies that are really designed to assist those who needed help. And you were there and I think it really did make a difference. But the greatest role you played, as my colleagues have suggested, was just providing some leadership and stability on the council. I was honored to be your pro tem briefly, but always appreciated the skill, your commitment, and your leadership getting things done and making everyone feel involved. Didn't always agree, but you made an effort to make sure that folks knew they had a role to play. And so, again, we're going to miss you, Paul. We're going to miss the friendship. We're going to miss the leadership. But as some have sort of hinted, we know you're not going away. That there's still more to come, and we look forward to your continued friendship and leadership. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yes. You're going to have to deal with me for another 79 days and as a council member. All right, Councilmember Rodriguez, but who's counting? Councilmember Rodriguez, followed by Councilmember Rahman.
Current, thank you. Paul, clearly you and I have had some very public disagreements on certain issues.
Shut up, Meg.
But what I appreciate is that we could always, also thanks to ITA for some very special split screen moments.
Shut up, Meg.
But we've always come together to work on issues that we have mutual commitment and passion about. And so I want to thank you for, I think that actually for me, what I reflect back on is I think the worst times of this council was in the midst of a budget crisis from COVID.
Shut up, Meg.
And having had the opportunity to be on the budget committee with you, serving with you and your remarkable staff, and Matt Hale, who was helping to lead that, and we all know this, is that we're only as good as our staff. And when I think about your staff and how their level of professionalism, how they've actually also worked very closely with so many of our teams to help advance the things that we all mutually care about in service to the city. As we were reeling from all of the resources that were going out the door when we were covering everyone else's responsibility on COVID expenditures, you still helped to guide us in a manner, and we all worked together to help really keep this city afloat. And so I'm really grateful to have had that opportunity to serve on the budget committee during those very difficult times. And then, the times shortly thereafter when we got the COVID relief, because I think that was really a remarkable moment. It's how you navigate during the most challenging economic times when everyone is struggling to make it. That's really when the best or the worst of who we are is going to show itself. And so for me, those were some of the most critical lessons.
You like the new one? You like the shut up, Megs?
Of leadership, of all of us working together as a council, but especially our staffs.
Shut up, Meg.
And, from like Anna and just everybody. Everyone has always been really remarkable to work with. And as the other Armenian of the council, as I like to call myself because of my district, I will say that it's been fun just, really supporting and uplifting what you're really passionate about. And when I think about the impacts of the Armenian community and what they've endured, especially over the last handful of years with some of the aggressions that have transpired, your voice was really an important one for our communities at a time when otherwise they wouldn't have had those issues really uplifted. And so I very much appreciate that and know how personal that is for you. So I know this is not a see you later or goodbye, you're still here.
That one's my favorite.
Again, thank you for all of those really
It's
great
like
examples.
more kind,
and
gentler.
lessons.
Shut up, Meg.
It was really masterful watching you on the budget and how well organized and really how we kind of held it all together during some really difficult times. But I'm really proud of how we've navigated out of it and hope we can continue to grow from it. So congratulations on a good tenure.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Rahman, followed by Councilmember Park.
Yeah, I'm going to put some other ones in there tomorrow.
Thank you so much for allowing me a moment here.
You ready for Friday?
I wanted to say that I've worked with you as council president now for some time, but your leadership on the council started from when I first started here. When you reached out to my staff and me during COVID when we hadn't met in person, and you offered, I think, one of the best budget briefings, one of the best briefings I've ever gotten. It was you and Matt Hale, and you broke it down for us, and you told us how offices could get involved. And it was really the first outreach that I had had from another member of the council that was really geared around helping our office, a new office that didn't know that much about the city, be as successful as possible. And I still remember that briefing, and I have my notes from it, and I look at it when thinking through the budget process. And so it really started long before you stepped into this role, this formal role as council president. And as Monica said, your staff has been really an essential part of all of that. I think we all bring the spirit of ourselves into this body, and your staff is imbued with that same spirit, and they're collaborative, they're prepared, they're detail-oriented, and I just want to express my gratitude for all of them as well, because they have been really great to work with. For the new members that you shepherded in under your leadership, I think they don't know how hard it was before they came on. I think we've all talked about it, but we don't talk about it that much because it's a little traumatic. Those moments were really hard. And I think now we're able to have difficult conversations about issues that are divisive without ourselves being divided. And that spirit of unity in having those conversations and still leaving this room and being able to collaborate on issues, that comes from the president's seat. So I want to thank you for that. And I also want to say that I know you're going to be here for...
They're glossy because there's no AC.
3 more months. But after you leave, I want to take ownership of the phrase, colleagues, let me remind you what we are voting on today. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Park, if you don't mind indulging us for a moment, we've been joined by the great mayor of the city of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, who is with us in council chambers.
That fucking cunt.
And without objection, members, I'd like to give her the opportunity to speak.
Karen asked everybody
to do so. Mayor Bass, welcome to our chamber.
The DEI, the newest DEI hire that we've got.
So thank you very much for the opportunity to join in
the poster child for DEI
and acknowledging your tremendous leadership. Mr. President, you and I worked together in Sacramento. We went through very, very, very tough times, which prepared all of us for the roles that we're in now. But one highlight of your time in Sacramento that I wanted to talk about, and that is the film tax credits. The very first one, an issue had been talked about for a long time. Our governor, who was a super A-lister, Arnold Schwarzenegger, did not want to do tax credits because he felt like, given that that was his industry, it would look too self-serving. But he said, if you guys can get it done, I will sign it. So sometimes what happens at 2 and 3 in the morning in a budget negotiation, sometimes you can actually get something done. And we did that, and that was the first tax credit that, of course, legislators after that have built on. And so when I had the opportunity to come here and know that you were the council president, because you took over the presidency a little bit before that, I knew that we were going to have a great leader of this institution. I knew that you would come in a very tough time, and you would be able to navigate that. And boy, did we all see that on display. It was an interesting time when I first came here in December of, can't believe it's going to be 2 years ago, and what was happening in council chamber, and even
2 years and you ain't done
to
a
have
fucking
a
thing.
council meeting.
Not one
when you
fucking
moved
thing that
from
I could see.
online to in
Not
person,
one.
and
That
you
I
were
could
able
actually
to
see with my
navigate
eyes.
that. You were able to get city business done. And I just want to join in and celebrate your time
That's it, Big
here
Papa.
in City Council, your full
Super
time
ball
here,
washing
but
me.
especially your
They got out the
leadership.
fucking
And I
DA
look forward
polisher. They're
to
polishing the
future
balls.
and finding new ways to work with you, because your accomplishments have been tremendous. You helped us get started
She's
with our
reptilian?
emergency declaration, with Inside Safe, with moving people off the street, building on the work that the council had been doing for years. And I look forward to see what you will be doing in the future. But thank you so much for your service and, more important, for your friendship, especially as we prepare to go into some other very challenging times
Yeah, I
in
got
our
him.
city. Thank you, Paul Krikorian, President of the City Council.
Thank you very much, Mayor Bass. Thank you, Mayor Bass. We're honored to have you with us, and thank you for the great partnership you've shown even before day one in office with this council. We've not only locked arms, we really have turned a page together, and we're grateful to you for your leadership as well. Thank you so much. Councilmember Park, followed by Councilmember Hernandez.
Really unfair to make me go directly after
our
incredible mayor. But President Krikorian, I just wanted to rise today and say that you have done such an incredible job leading this council through some very dark times into a new era with 7 brand new members, the most diverse council that we've ever seen. You have spearheaded us through some really hard decisions in our districts as a city and even beyond. I really appreciate how thoughtful you were in assigning us to committees that aligned with our interests and our skill sets, and you've always been there as a sounding board and a mentor. I have really admired your efforts to balance competing interests, individual needs, unique differences between our council districts, and of course, the occasional noisy political dispute. You've done this with grace and transparency and fairness. I have learned so much from you about our city, about how things work here at City Hall, how to navigate tricky political challenges, and how to treat people with respect, even in disagreement. So thank you for all of that, and thank you for treating me as a new member, as a valued partner and a colleague. It really made my own transition into this overwhelming new role much easier. There is no question that the city of Los Angeles is better off because of your years of service, and there is no question that this council is better off because of your leadership. Thank you so much, President Krikorian.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Hernandez, followed by Councilmember Hutt.
Thank you, Council President.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to start off by saying that to this date, I don't think I've ever met someone who loves this building more than you do, and who knows more about the building than you do, who can tell the stories of the light posts, of the door handles. And I'm always grateful when you share those tidbits, because now when I walk into the elevator, I know that the lights, when you look at them, the only reason why we have it is because a BOE person had one of them that we were able to replicate and rebuild for all the other elevator lights. So that kind of stuff, I nerd out about it too. So I appreciate you sharing. And I know that you came in a time that was very tumultuous, and where there was a lot of trepidation about myself and other colleagues coming on board on, people thought that we were crazy, that, all sorts of things. They were scared. But you led us in a way that allowed us to stand for what we believe in, for democracy to continue, for conversations to happen. There are conversations that have happened in this chamber under your leadership that have never happened before because you allowed it to happen. So I'm grateful for that space, the opportunity to represent my community to the fullest possible way that I can, and for your expertise in helping me also navigate how to put motions forward, and particular motions to help our district get through crises. So I appreciate that and all the opportunities you've given us. I look forward to see what the next steps are you're going to take in your leadership. The Olympics are coming. We need that expertise in that space, and I look forward to that continued partnership and moving our city into a better place, even though it's going to require us to go through some rose bushes, but on the other side are going to be roses. So I look forward to seeing you in that role. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Hutt, followed by Councilmember Soto Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Chair. I want to thank you for your belief in me. Golly, what am I doing? I came in at a tough time.
Man, girl, you was the install. You didn't get one vote.
And,
Your name should be Kamala. Or Kumala, sorry. God damn. They just put me here. Everybody else got voted in but
Would you like
me.
us to hold the matter on the desk?
Go
I
down.
just want to look at you. I look over there. Your leadership has been
True. Every
incredible,
single one of these people
thoughtful,
were all voted for, except for her. She was installed.
You have
I
an
just gave her the
understanding
job.
of cultural competency that I haven't seen in a leader before.
Unelected Heather Hutt.
I certainly am grateful for your open door policy and your team that
That's how Democrats
spends
do it.
time
They
talking
choose
to our team
for
so that
you.
we have
They
a
don't
greater
allow you to choose.
understanding
They give you the
direction
illusion of you being allowing yourself
I
to
also
choose
wanna say,
what you want.
that
No.
Not only did Paul
We'll
trust
tell
me
you
to,
what's best for you.
to be a voting member, but he trusted me to ride on a float down King Boulevard in the King Parade. And his first year, he was holding on like this, like, oh
She's
my
a saucier
God.
from San
You know
Antonio.
how much longer. And his second year, he was actually dancing. And so what I learned is that Paul likes
Selected,
music.
not elected.
And
Yes, Willie.
he likes to have a good
Good way
time,
to put
too.
it.
So it's a good balance in a leader when you see that, you understand the construct.
Kinda like
but
somebody
you also
else.
understand that you have to balance it of being social and having fun. I want to thank you
Well, hopefully not,
For trusting
Diane. Hopefully
and
not.
for your leadership.
There's no coming back.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Soto Martinez, followed by Councilmember McCosker.
Oh, yeah. And
you so much,
Buckethead has
Council
to talk
President.
too.
I want to sort of echo a few of the things that were said, and sort of from my own perspective, a lot of folks talk about the tense history of this council, the relationships, and some of us were here days after what happened in Los Angeles, and got a little flavor of it. And the thing that I think about a lot is, what's happening on the national scale. People not having trust in government, divisiveness, and
why would we trust you?
So I knew I was coming into that, and I think a few of us knew we were coming into that. But it definitely had a paradigm shift with something so simple as having a tour of this building. And a few of us, and I've mentioned it, but what you did is give it a lot more color, a lot more detail. You carried yourself in a very
They piss on your fucking leg and tell you it's
kind of
raining.
a little bit of,
That's what these people do.
grandpa vibes, I gotta say, a little bit. But but that was what I needed to have in that moment. Someone that I could look to sort of as a father figure in this space, and it really, to me,
North Korea haircut number 3.
The responsibility that I was coming into.
Oh, Kim Jong-un over here, fucking
being on the other side,
toupee,
and pushing and
the
activist,
Kim Jong-un comb over.
It felt very different. It felt like we needed to heal the wounds of the city, that we needed to be an example for the nation of how we can have disagreements but not dislike each other. We can push for a bold agenda but not push away each other. And so I want to give you a ton of credit for doing that and having that kind of leadership. And just for the record, my staff have asked me to ask you for that tour for themselves. They've heard of it, they want to be a part of it, and I think, I really hope someone takes that mantle, because I think as members come in, we need to have someone that is going to fill this hole, this leadership that I think you're going to be departing, hopefully not from the city, but certainly from this space. And I want to continue to be an ally with you on issues that affect the Armenian community, someone who has Little Armenia and feels in solidarity with working people, the oppressed. I hope I can continue to be a partner with you on that. And I look forward to the next 79 days, but I know it's not the end of Council President Krikorian, and I look forward to the future as well.
Shout out to the Armenian community.
We're scheduling that tour right now. For the next 79 days, I'm much more readily available for anybody who'd like.
Shout out to Shavo.
Councilmember McCosker, followed by Councilmember Yaroslavsky.
Paul, I thank you, Ugo. That was beautifully said. I agree with all of that, except for the father figure part. Don't worry, I'm not going to call you my father. We go.
Look at old jack-o'-lantern over here. Does he look like a jack-o'-lantern when he
I was thinking how
smiles?
far we go back. I don't know if you
Big
remember this,
pumpkin
but a
head.
mutual friend invited me to a USC football game, and I think it was Wally who introduced us in the late 90s. And we've managed to overcome the fact that you were wearing the wrong colors to that game, and Notre Dame lost 10-0. But we've been through a lot.
Sign of justice in the universe.
Yeah, that's right. Like many of the freshmen, like the freshmen here, I didn't live through sort of how traumatic some of it was before we came aboard. We got a sense of it from our first couple of meetings, but we didn't live through it. And so I can't fully appreciate how much you have brought to this body and stability and dignity and the ability to move forward. But I will say that when people ask me about your leadership and ask me about you, which happens from time to time, believe it or not, I say something to them that I should say to you, to your face. I say, I think he was absolutely, absolutely the right person in the right position, in the right place, in an important time in city history. And there's a couple of folks that I've worked with over the years that I say that about.
Yeah, they're all slobbing the
So
knob
I
right now.
hold you in very, very high regard. I felt the same way. You all probably know how deeply I care for Jim Hahn. I thought he was the right guy at the right time, the right medicine, went through a lot of, pain and anguish to set the city straight. And I hold you in the same high regard. The right person at the right time that really put us on a track that allows us to move forward with the initiatives that we each care about. You gave us space so that we could disagree with one another and do it in a dignified way.
Fucking hawk
gave
2
us an
session.
opportunity,
That's
gave
it.
everybody an
Circle
opportunity
jerk.
to
Somebody
grow
said it
into
in
their
there. They were
positions.
right.
So I thank you very much for that.
City
If you could just
council,
get over this USC thing, you'd be
city
perfect.
council circle jerk.
Thank you very much. And don't count on it.
We'd be done already.
Councilmember Yaroslavsky, followed by Councilmember De Leon.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you very much, and I just want to echo everything
Everybody has to suck a
Councilmember
little
Costiger
cock.
said, particularly around the SC thing at the end. Go Bruins. I want to express
Go Bruins.
incredibly deep gratitude for your leadership. I remember my
thing
first council
sucks.
meeting in these chambers.
What do you want, fat boy?
Along with 4 other new council
you
members.
nothing.
My
It
central
ain't
nervous
already.
system was shot for a week. And I remember when the meeting finally ended, hours later, and I stumbled into the back, you caught my eye and you said, it's going to get better. It's going to get easier. You're going to be fine. And you were right. And a large part of that was because of the culture that you brought to this space, publicly, but also privately, your willingness to mentor in overt and more subtle ways. I really appreciate your focus on problem solving and compromise and not dying on every hill and teaching us all that compromise and problem solving don't have to be dirty words. And I think we got a lot more done because of that. And your willingness to do that compromise work in public and have those conversations happen, even if they were a little bit messy, and then help bring us all back together at the end, was something that I've learned an incredible amount from you. So I want to thank you for your service, for always being the adult in every room, for always knowing something about this building that I also steal and then pass along as if I knew it myself. And most importantly, for setting a really strong foundation for this body as we move forward on behalf of our constituents in the city. So thank you very much.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Thank you. Councilmember De Leon.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, as
Oh,
well as
here we go.
colleagues. Paul, you are what I would say.
Bro, this helmet's looking
you're
pretty
an
shiny today.
institutionalist. And that's a good thing.
I think the Just for Men
That's a
kit
very good
needs
thing.
to go back in because it's
Institutionalists
white down here but
understand
dark
and knows
up
the
top.
rules, the
It's like a
history,
real Darth Vader
the
helmet.
culture. That is correct. They know the nooks and crannies and
Rest in peace
understand
to
it.
Darth.
Because he or she who understands the rules positions himself or herself to great success. And when you are in a position of power to
Richard
lead,
Ramirez.
that's a different
Jose, he
dynamic
kind of does look like the Night
because
Stalker, I
titles
ain't gonna
come
lie.
Folks are bestowed
Like he has the
bestowed
same
titles
skin.
endlessly. But to have
Yeah.
a skill set or to
Same,
grow
like,
into
dark
that
hair,
skill
of
set
course,
is something
and-
dramatically different. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I have no idea if leadership is innate or if it's culture. We learn and we grow.
That motherfucker had the city scared, though. I ain't gonna lie.
With the title.
I remember that
And
time.
a lot of folks who had positions.
Motherfuckers were locking their doors, sleeping with their guns.
That
Yeah.
Behaviors or that their
motherfuckers were
practices
worried in the city.
have been commiserate with the title itself. Now, you came from Sacramento.
Just killing
Richard.
randos.
And I know at the time, and I think with Council President Emeritus Herb Wesson, who's present here today, I think there was this sort of big, giant concern of all these folks coming down from Sacramento and coming into City Hall and changing the culture and changing the balance and sort of bringing that culture from Sacramento down here. What does that mean exactly?
That's his
If that is
voodoo.
actually going to be a
It's like
beneficial thing for the
Joe
city
Boo.
or not, but in particular, this City Hall.
He was
I think during your
misunderstood.
tenure as council member, during your tenure as council president, you have acquitted yourself in such a manner that you demonstrated.
I think he looks like
that
Eric
that skill
Estrada.
set
I don't-
translate wherever you
I think he
go,
looks like
whether
Edward
it's
James
Sacramento,
Olmos.
Whether it be in Washington,
He's
D.C. or
Edward
here
James
in City Hall.
Almost.
Now, I think it was Katie or Monica who mentioned a few things, and I think it was Nithya as well, with regards to the budget. And I remember when I came on board, I received a phone call from you, and you offered Matt instantly to sit down and understand the complexities of the budget here in City Hall.
American Me was such a good movie.
Great benefit to both me and
Who
my
copped his
team.
wire?
He's hiding behind that column right over there, right in between those curtains. Come on out so we can see.
Man,
him, Matt,
pass the
right there.
wire.
And that was a big benefit to me. And I can underscore, and I think Monica mentioned it, one of the biggest crises that we have, no doubt about it, was the profound structural deficit because of COVID. Short of federal dollars coming in, short of state dollars coming in, and having to negotiate that, the end result would have been, and this is no understatement, nor is it hyperbole, it would have been catastrophic.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys vote.
And oftentimes,
Should
what
we
takes
pull the
place
ripcord
in the
and
budget
leave?
committee and behind the
Or do you want to
scenes,
wait until the
oftentimes
end?
the larger
Because this is all just
legislative
the ass
body,
licking.
as well as
It's really all it
larger,
is.
you
You let me know.
city of
Yes
LA
or no.
are
Pull the
unaware
ripcord.
of the difficult
Yes or
and
no.
painful
Pull the
decisions that
ripcord.
are being made, because that budget meant life and death to a lot of folks, and you navigated it very adroitly, very astutely. It's really important to understand.
Pull it. Yes.
Because a lot of folks
Wait.
are sort of isolated
Leave.
from
Yes.
those very
Pull.
difficult decision
Pull.
makings that are happening
Pull.
behind the
I'm
scenes.
down. Yes. Okay. So
And
we'll
again,
just. Yeah. We'll cut.
short of all of those dollars coming in from the feds,
Now we're
and the
just
state,
listening
we
to
would have been-
the
we would have been
baloney, you know, what their view, their skewed view of how good they're doing is. That's all this is. The general ass licking. So why stay around for that shit? Fuck him. Good to see he's gone. Keep those notifications on, that's for sure, guys, because we may get us a chase today. I'm here. I want to thank you guys for always joining me, of course, on every show, whether it's the police chases, the fires, or even LA City Council, or whatever city council we're watching. I appreciate that. Thank you for the likes, the love, the donations, the thumbs ups. The donos are great. The thumbs ups are great. They're free and they work. I appreciate every one of them. Thank you who took the time to give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you. Other than that, have a fantastic Wednesday. Like I said, keep those notifications on. Maybe we'll get a chase in 12 minutes from now, and I'll have to hop back on. So you know how it works. So pray for a chase, I guess. All right, guys, we're out of here. I'll see you on the next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, you guys. I'm a king.
Bye, Stinks.